We're a little late today. We're at 6:30. Switching our schedule up a little bit. Making it happen. Making it happen. All right, guys. Poll of the day, as it is every day. Who will be president in 2028? 847 days until election. And let's see what we got on that Kelsey poll today. Who are the odds makers? Spain winning up against France, by the way, today. Spain going to the final. Can they bring it home, though? Can England bring it home? We will all be cheering for England. Hopefully they can pull it off. Same four people, same four placements. Here we go. Marco Rubio, and he's got 2 wins. Then we got J.D. Vance, and he's got 47 wins. And then we got Mr. Gavin Newsom, and he's got 18 wins. And then we got John Ossoff. Get your vote in now. The show starts now. Let me pull up our chat so that we can get chatting with you chatters. Chat is open. And that means it's time for Mo News. Are you guys ready for the Mo News of the day? Our independent source of news. Not a sponsor, but, Mo News, if you want to be a sponsor, please let me know, because I would love to have a sponsor like you. All right. Emmy Award-winning former executive producer of CBS, Fox News, and Bloomberg, Mo News. Here we go. 23 hours ago, it has led to Taco Bell becoming a leader in the fight against diarrhea for once. What? Taco Bell locations are pulling certain ingredients off the menus due to this outbreak of diarrhea or something. 23 hours ago, latest on the ICE shootings in Maine, feds say the Colombian man killed was not the intended target of the arrested warrant. Breaking down what Lindsey Graham ticks. Okay, here we go. Politico. Excerpt from Politico. The access to the corridors of the power came with a price. Graham, as much as any GOP lawmaker, embodied the bargaining Republicans made after Trump's hostile takeover of the party. The last of the three amigos, McCain, Liberian, and Graham, to serve in the Senate, took off his country over party hat and tossed on the red MAGA lid. It hasn't complicated. Graham's explained openly that that's what was necessary to keep him in the room where it happens, to sustain those transatlantic conversations, doing iPhone diplomacy between Brussels and Washington. And of course, the two of them got along famously. Graham and Trump, was their shared love for golf. South Carolinian's only other real passion besides his sister Darlene and her family. Yet there was something deeper between the Southern Pole and the New York celebrity, a sort of mogul rogue's recognition that you can't bullshit a bullshitter, but it doesn't mean you won't try. It was cynical, his capulation. Make no mistake, it's easy to say Graham's choice relevance over principle. I just did, and he'd probably conceded to slightly more finessed accounting. Does anybody doubt that Trump would have been more apt to abandon Ukraine were Graham not in his ear nearly every single day? Facts. Trump rules, third term. J.D. Vance gonna fix shit. J.D. Vance is not a great candidate. Trump rules. Make sure you don't spam the chat, David. Let's not spam the chat, my guy. I read the chats. I get you. All right, 21 hours ago, how he saw himself as Graham was trying to simultaneously pacify Trump and NATO over the president's designs on Greenland last year. I'm bilingual, he said. I speak European and Trump. Politico. 21 hours ago, on the flood-borne parasite, New York set to temporarily ban large new data centers, Wall Street Journal. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is banning large data center construction for up to a year, making New York the latest state to confront the rollout of sites powering the artificial intelligence boom. The governor, of a Democrat, was set to sign an executive order Tuesday halting construction of big new data centers. The moratorium would give the state time to create regulations for data centers that can help the environment and energy grid. No other state has enacted a similar freeze. Maine Governor Janet Mills, a Democrat, vetoed a bill earlier this year that would have halted construction of new data centers. The legislator voted against a exemption she wanted for a project in one town. Dozens of cities and countries across the U.S. have issued temporary halts on data centers construction. Many states have proposed similar bans. 10 hours ago, from Fox News, Lindsey Graham's final phone call is being revealed as he dialed one senator's staffer in desperate need of help. Senator Tommy Tuberville is sharing a new detail about Senator Lindsey Graham's final moments, revealing Graham called his scheduler after returning from an overseas trip and said, "Listen, I'm having chest pains. I need to do something." When asked, "Did you call 911?" Graham replied, "No, that's the reason I called you." Tuberville said the scheduler immediately called 911, and by the time she got there, 911 had knocked on the door and they were working on him. Tuberville said Lindsey basically worked himself to death, noting Graham rarely took time off and was always traveling to work on something for our country. I don't know about that. 9 hours ago, consumer inflation rates dropped most since 2020. Consumer prices have posted their biggest decline in more than 6 years during June, as the sharp drop in energy prices provided a large temporary relief from this year's inflation surge. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported Tuesday. The Consumer Price Index, a broad measure of costs for goods and services across the U.S. economy, was lower than expected across the board. The CPI fell a seasonally adjusted 0.4% for the month, bringing the annual inflation rate down to 3.5%. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe. 8 hours ago, but is the relief short-lived? Energy prices came down in June. Energy prices came down in June as the U.S. and Iran signed a temporary deal, but gas prices are set to rise again this month as tensions rise again. Additionally, tariff prices increases are still being passed through the consumers, and the AI boom is raising costs. Food prices are still surging, and the food index rose 0.2% in June, same as in May. Overall, the food prices are up 3% from last year. One piece of good news, the decline in the inflation in June could keep the Federal Reserve from raising interest rates further this year, analysts say. 8 hours ago, AP. E. Jean Carroll collects more than $5 million from Trump 3 years after a jury found him liable of sexual abuse and defamation. Writer E. Jean Carroll has been paid more than $5.6 million that she was owed as part of a federal civil jury verdict holding President Donald Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation, a court filing showed Tuesday. A notice on the online docket in Carroll's case against Trump in U.S. District Court in Lower Manhattan indicates that $5,625,005.48 was distributed to pay the law firm of Carroll's attorneys on July 9th. The total comprises the $5 million in damages awarded to the jury's May 2023 verdict, plus post-judgment interest that accrued in the subsequent 3 years. Trump had been found liable for sexual abusing Carroll in the Manhattan department store of Beardoff Goodman in the 1990s, then defaming her in 2019 after she went public with her claim about the encounter. E. Jean Carroll's a liar? Well, I mean, I don't know if she's a liar, but she definitely fucks rocks. She wrote a book where she literally tells you about how she fucked a rock. She had sex with a rock. Okay, guys? That's all I need to know about E. Jean Carroll. 8 hours ago, in a separate federal civil case centered on the defamation claim, a Manhattan jury in January of 2024 ordered Trump to pay Carroll a total of $83.3 million in damages. Trump has vehemently denied Carroll's claim and filed numerous appeals in both cases. The Supreme Court in late June refused to hear Trump's appeal for the sexual abuse and defamation verdict. Trump is continuing to challenge this civil defamation verdict as the lower federal appeals court. Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, so pay them the $5 million. Here's your $5 million and your 43 cents. No, I'm not giving you another $83.3 million, okay? Calm the fuck down. 8 hours ago, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announces Monday that Trump administration will seek to dismantle the 24-year-old International Criminal Court, calling it a threat to the United States sovereignty and saying it could try to prosecute Americans. While the move signals a major escalation in the administration's rhetoric, experts say Washington has limited ability to cripple the court, which is backed by more than 120 member states and operates independently. 8 hours ago. The U.S. relationship with the ICC has long been mixed. The Clinton administration helped negotiate the court's founding treaty and signed it in 2000, but declined to seek Senate Senate ratification over concerns U.S. troops and officials could face politically motivated prosecution. In 2002, President George W. Bush firmly withdrew the U.S. signature. Former President Obama's administration endorsed the court's work investigating violence in Kenya, and former President Biden's administration shared intelligence with the ICC as it developed its indictment against Russian President Vladimir Putin. 8 hours ago, new day, new Hormuz idea. Trump backtracks on plan to surge 20% fee to the ship traveling through Strait of Hormuz. Political. President Donald Trump on Tuesday walked back threats to charge a 20% fee on all cargo ships that pass through the Strait of Hormuz, the critical waterway that has been centered in the renewed U.S.-Iran conflict. In a post to Truth Social, Trump said that the strait will be open to all shipping traffic except for Iran, and the U.S. will implement a full blockade, but only on ships coming to and from Iranian ports, or carrying anything having to do with Iranian cargo. The president added that the previously announced 20% fee will be replaced with a trade and investment deals between Gulf states and the U.S. Those investments will be massive, but at the same time, extraordinarily good for them and their future, Trump said. Trump's announcement marks a shift of backtracking from his proposal to charge all ships traveling the strait a 20% fee, a plan he announced on Monday. It triggered grumbling from international allies and even some Republicans on Capitol Hill. 8 hours ago, lettuce be the first to take you. Health officials zero in on lettuce in explosive diarrhea outbreak. The investigation continues. 8 hours ago, what you need to know, the lettuce or salad greens are leading suspects into diarrhea outbreaks that have sickened more than 3,300 people in Michigan, state officials say. No specific type, grower, or supplier have been identified, and officials say the other foods can't be ruled out yet. More than 30 states have reported cases to the CDC. Investigators are also looking into whether Taco Bell restaurants played a role, the Washington Post reports. What it is, this is a gastro illness that spreads through the food and water that has been contaminated with feces. It can take weeks for symptoms to appear. Been here before. In 2018, McDonald's pulled salads in 14 states during an outbreak. In 2013, there was a lettuce outbreak in Mexico, sickening over 400 people. 8 hours ago from CNBC, Nacho trade returns, oil prices climb on renewed tensions in Hormuz Strait. Woo! Give me a second, guys. Let me read the chat real quick. I watched some recap of politics and liberals focusing on people's rights. Yet I ran a no to everybody. Maggots are pathetic. If this is the roster, I'm voting blue. Commies are pathetic. Trump's diarrhea syndrome. Taco Bell causes diarrhea regardless. Facts. If you think you're not getting Taco Bell diarrhea, you're retarded. Anyway. Oil prices climbing higher in the overnight sessions heading into Friday, and renewed tensions in the Strait of Hormuz have brought the NACHO acronym, or Not a Chance Hormuz Opens, back into focus. The NACHO buzzword is catching on again after the U.S. and Iran exchanged fire in the Strait of Hormuz over the weekend, stoking concerns about the renewed blockade in the important energy corridor that has disrupted global supply and led to wild fractional damages in oil prices since the start of the war. eToro market analyst Zorvan Wong reportedly told CNBC Nacho is an acknowledgement that higher oil isn't a temporary shock to the trade around. It's the current market environment for now going forward. Taco Nacho down with Trump. 7 hours ago, the nacho trade is not to be confused with taco trade, though the case of Iran, they have been intertwined. Some investors have watched as Trump's escalation tactics on issues like tariffs in Iran follow a familiar script. It is a so-called taco trade. Taco being shorthand for Trump always chickens out. It has increasingly shaped positioning over the last year, with traders treating escalation or the threat itself as a buy signal. Stepping into the weakness is anticipation of the eventual off-ramp. At the same time, Trump will also sometimes follow through on threats, like the war on Iran, and some of the longer-term tariffs he has kept in place. Wait, okay. So, taco's a real thing. Trump always chickens out. Remove the A, though, because sometimes he bombs Iran. So it's not a taco, it's a takao. Takao! Takao! Motherfuckers. All right. Anyway, back to the news. 7 hours ago, CBS News judge rebukes Trump and DOJ over IRS lawsuits, refers lawyers for disciplinary proceedings. A federal judge sharply rebukes President Donald Trump's lawsuit against the Internal Revenue Service over his leaked tax returns, ruling Monday that the $10 billion case was filed for an improper purpose and appeared designed to give judicial legitimacy to legally unsupported settlement. U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams said the lawsuit improperly allowed Trump to sue the federal agency under his own control, resulting in an agreement that would have granted him immunity from IRS audits and created a $1.776 billion fund for Trump's allies. While the fund and the settlement have already been abandoned and the case dismantled, Williams referred to Trump's attorney, Alejandro Brito, for possible disciplinary action and criticized over Justice Department lawyers' involvement in these actions. All right, 3 hours ago, major headlines in aftermath of 2 dead ICE shootings in the last week in Texas and Maine. ICE halts most traffic stops nationwide after fatal shootings in Texas and Maine. What you need to know, 3 hours ago, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, ordered agents to suspend most vehicle stops nationwide on Monday after 2 fatal shootings in Texas and Maine involving drivers were not the agents' intended targets. Agents will receive additional training on vehicle stop tactics, though stops involving serious criminal suspects will continue. Earlier this year, ICE announced it would restore its full 72-day training after using an accelerated 42-day course during the hiring surge in 2025 and early 2026. The 2 shootings in the past week are among at least 29, 8 fatal, involving federal immigration officials since President Trump's second term began, according to Gun Violence Data Hub. 3 hours ago, rare hearing on Capitol Hill as 2 Supreme Court justices testify before Congress on annual court budget. One growing issue is security threats against the court. 3 hours ago, liberal Justice Aileen Kagan also recalled how he was one of the few GOP senators who voted for her and helped seal her nomination. 3 hours ago, latest polling on the state of trust in America. Some concerns numbers across the board. Americans have lost the faith in nearly every major U.S. institution, new poll states. 3 hours ago, confidence in institutions, Republicans versus Democrats. It doesn't matter. They don't like either one of them. Who would have thought? Vote out the incumbents, guys. Here we go. Lots of breakdowns nationally. Okay, it doesn't really matter. We just don't trust anybody. That makes sense. Breaking news. Spain defeats France 2-0 to advance to the final. France was the favorite to win the World Cup, but Spain on Tuesday beat France 2-0. Spain now advances to the World Cup final, where it will play either Argentina or England, where it will play either FIFA Corporation or England. Spain has only won the World Cup once, back in 2010. France will contest Saturday's third-place playoff. 3 hours ago, state of Kelchi prediction markets, France was the favorite prior to today's game, and now Spain has a 57% shot of winning the World Cup, they're saying. All right, let's see. Do we got anything else here going here? 1 hour ago, back to the call by New York to become the first state to pause AI data center construction. And 1 hour ago, we devoted today's Mo News Substack. Okay, the clips of the memes. And that's the news for the day, guys. Let's get into it. More news for the news and the news of the day. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, get your vote in for the poll of the day, as it is every day. Who's winning right now? JD Vance, winning again, 38% to 32%. Make sure you throw that comment down. Tell me who you voted for. It sends more people into the algorithm for that poll of the day. Let's get to Daddy Trump up first, meeting with the Prime Minister of Iraq. Prime Minister of Iraq.
Thank you very much. We had already a good meeting. We're going to decide to do a little lunch. It wasn't scheduled, but we are going to do it on the fly because we have a tremendous chemistry together. The Prime Minister of Iraq has been amazing.
Chemistry,
he won
bro?
an election. A lot of people
bro
didn't
sitting there like
anticipate
dead.
Could be won by anybody else other than another person who was not, in my opinion, a good person. Not good for America.
Value City Furniture went out of business?
Iraq. And I played a role in...
I don't know, like, here's the problem. You liberals, you fuck up the joke. That would have been a great joke if you were talking about the setup of this room, which is like this gaudy-ass furniture. Instead, you're like trying to make some JD Vance couch fucking joke. Like, quit like making people debunk your bullshit and actually make fun of the real things in the room. This is weird. Saying we have chemistry with the Iraqi Prime Minister as he sits there like a stoned man with his hands on his knees and a all-gold room by Donald Trump. It is bizarre, okay? 79% of the data centers in West Virginia.
Well, and we have a fantastic champion, a new champion, and he won the election very soundly, very conclusively, and he wasn't favored. But by the time they got to know him, he ended up winning, and he's going to be there for a long time. So I just want to say it's a great honor to have the Prime Minister of Iraq with us. He's been a great fighter. He's been a great fan of America.
Frozen.
We'll be discussing that a little bit with you. But they have tremendous oil reserves.
Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe.
Wealth, and they have tremendous
5 p.m.
wealth,
every day.
Not only potential, but he's done in a short period of time. He's changed that country so much, especially toward their thinking about the United States. And we have partnerships.
I just want to apologize, guys. I'm about 30 seconds behind, and I almost showed you my balls. This camera on my MacBook, it's bizarre, and I almost showed you my balls. I'm
Chris
so
was
sorry.
Just saying we have tremendous oil partnerships all of a sudden being formed over the last short period of time. And I guess you're going to be announcing them this week or next week. But massive, among the largest.
We just need to get rid of the incumbents in the Senate, guys.
They have done a fantastic job over the last very short period of time. But they have a great leader, the new Prime Minister. He's a great leader. I think he's going to be there for a long period of time. And it's great to have you at the White House. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And he's a young man. He's young and he's handsome, which I don't like. I'm not happy about that.
Got nothing to say, bro. He just sits there. He's got nothing to say. He's like, yeah, I'm just glad that, Saddam's dead. Anyway. Don't say anything that will piss off Israel. That's all he's thinking in his head. Don't say anything that will piss off Israel.
لكن هنالك كيمياء عظيمة بيننا وبينهم. رئيس الوزراء يقوم بعمل رائع.
Excuse me, why is she talking? He's clearly not saying anything.
سيفوز في هذه الانتخابات. لكن المرشح المضاد له كان شخص لم يعجبني ولم تكن لديه آراء جيدة تجاه أمريكا. لكن كان من المهم جدا لي أن تفوزوا
Prime Minister wants to get the fuck out of there. Thanks, bro.
والآن لدينا فائز جديد.
He's in a room full of people that would murder him in any other decade.
لم تكن حظوظه كبيرة لكنه مع ذلك نجح.
Room full of people that would execute him in any other decade.
بالنسبة لي أن أستضيف دولة رئيس الوزراء.
Is he reporting back to Iran for us?
What the fuck? عظيم. وهو
أيضا
this
guy's our partner.
أمريكا والولايات المتحدة.
And dual citizenship as well. Facts. Except what's napping.
الاحتياطات النفطية.
And not when they turn the camera on him.
مليئة بالثروات. وفي وقت قصير.
I was like, look at his face. How the fuck did I get here? How the fuck did I get here?
القيام بالكثير وتغيير على الأقل تغيير شعور العراقيين تجاه أمريكا وكما قال كريس وزير النفط وأشار إلى ذلك
Yo, if you're just joining us, most in the live chat ever, make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, throw your chat in, tell us who you're voting for. We have a poll of the day that happens every day since the start of the Iran war when I started this show. And we're going to go 847 more days of this poll, guys. We're going to be the most accurate poll on the internet. Fully just algorithmic, pick your fucking poison. Nothing, nobody calling you. None of this bullshit. Appreciate all of you. I'm an ex-assistant of The Daily Show. I worked for Dana Bash. I worked for the President Show on Comedy Central. Used to do a lot of clipping for news networks. And now I give you the news, raw and unfiltered, every single night.
Please.
Welcome to the channel.
Thank you. أشكر حفاوة الاستقبال إلى فخامة الرئيس دونالد ترامب.
Thank you for
Where were the Iraqis
welcome
during
by His
Iraqi freedom?
Excellency, President Trump.
Yeah, look at this guy's face. He's about to. He's like, hey, where were you 10 years ago? I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go, bro.
إلى الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية.
United States of America.
You can't. They can't all be enemies, right?
This visit was not just like any visit.
وإنما زيارة إعلان شراكة اقتصادية.
Rather, it's an announcement of economic partnership.
تحدثت مع فخامة الرئيس.
Where I talked to His Excellency.
30/9.
This man looks like somebody that is sitting in line to get a payday loan at a cash for gold place. He's like, I had to come here. There's a financial opportunity. I needed to get a advance on my paycheck. And so I had to come to the cash for gold at the White House.
فتخرج القوات
By
الأمريكية.
the 30th of September, the U.S. forces will be out of Iraq,
وسوف تدخل الشركات الأمريكية.
while the U.S. companies will be inside Iraq.
ودائما تخلق العلاقة المجتمعية هي الشراكة الاقتصادية وليس العسكرية.
He looks at the
Social
type of
relations
weak
is
in the
about
sunny
like economy,
triangle
it's
of
not
that.
about military relations.
أنقل تحياتي
I would convey my greetings
من أقدم حضارة في
from
العالم
the oldest civilization in the world.
إلى أكبر قرن.
It is wild that we're like, okay, so the Iraqi president is in the White House right now. Or prime minister. The Iraqi prime minister is in the White House right now. We went over to Turkey and we're letting the communist nation of Turkey shoot off Soviet bombs in our honor. What the fuck is going on? Did Lindsey Graham get blown up by Putin?
اقتصادي في العالم.
Did Lindsey Graham get blown up by... I'm just... Because what the fuck is going on? This is a little odd.
الرئيس على حفاوة الاستقبال.
My thanks.
We've
to
never
His
done
Excellency,
these things
President,
before.
for the warm welcome.
Good. Well, thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question for the Prime Minister and then for you, sir. If you allow me, I'm going to ask in Arabic. سمو سعادة رئيس الوزراء هناك طلب أمريكي لحصر سلاح
Turkey isn't communist. They sure fucking do look like it.
وعدم
See that parade?
هل هذه أهداف أن تتحقق؟
Call me uncultured. Look pretty fucking Soviet Russian to me.
I'm with Al Arabiya. I cover the Middle East. I'm a White House correspondent, but I'm the foreign pooler today. Sir, is the military attack on Iran, is this a strategy to bring them back to the table?
American
Or is it
supremacy must be completed.
To degrade them so the regime will eventually fall?
Well, we don't think we need the military there anymore. You know, it's a very a big operation. And what we do have is the oil companies are all going in now, and they're doing partnerships with Iraq, and they're getting along very well. The relationship is a whole big relationship where we don't need the military. We're there to help them. We're there to protect them if need be, but we don't think that's going to be necessary. And their primary, I consider it an opponent. They might have considered a friend, but I consider that an opponent was Iran, was a big burden on Iraq because they were the bully of the Middle East, as you know. And we were just talking about that, but they're not going to have that problem anymore because Iran has been
Regardless,
very
Trump
much
keeps on winning.
destabilized, and really their military power is just a tiny fraction of what it was just 4 months ago. So they're not going to have that problem. I think that it's really, in a sense, it's given them freedom.
Guys, we're getting a heavy load of you in here. We've gotten already 10,000 in the live stream on YouTube. That means we will go to a second hour, but we just hit our first half an hour. So make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Tell us in the chat who you're voting for in our poll of the day. Right now we got 36% JD Vance, 32% Gavin Newsom. That second hour that we definitely will do in 30 minutes, the top two candidates will run off against each other. If we go to a third hour, every hour will be a third-party candidate as we do on this show. Make sure to double tap, hit subscribe. If you want to join the channel, $4 a month, get a little logo next to your name in the chat for nights like tonight when we go live for a long time and we have a big, long chat, and you want to make sure that you stick out in that chat. You start off as a North Korean and you end up an Israeli after a year, guys, of support. I appreciate all the support. No news is news. Here 7 days a week, 5 p.m. Central Time, usually 6 p.m. tonight. Back to Daddy Trump and Iraqi's prime minister in the White House? In the White House, bro? Okay, wait. England's about to, literally take over our nation again for the first time in 250 years. They're going to win the World Cup on our soil. And we're hosting the Prime Minister of Iraq? What the fuck is going on?
Do what they have to do.
Remember, guys, America 250 started on the 4th of July. This is our 250th year now. And so far, we got eliminated from the World Cup. McGregor stubbed his toe. Donald Trump is going to Turkey and now hosting Iraq at the fucking White House. The hell is this shit?
And I think
England's going to win the World Cup in America.
one of the reasons that
What is
our
this shit?
companies are going in there at levels that have never been seen before. So
Appreciate the support, guys. Keep it going. Let's go.
you want to answer?
Might be a long night tonight if y'all stay with me.
جزيلا على السؤال.
Thank you
We
for
got
your
lots
question.
of stuff that we can cover
ابتداء
too.
في منهاج الحكومي
Well, according to the program of the government,
هو حصر السلاح بيد الدولة
gives a
is
shit about the World Cup?
acquisition of weapons to the state.
وهذه
joke,
نقطة
bro.
أساسية
And this is a basic point.
ولدي قرار
Sorry to
غير
offend you
قابل
talking about
للخيار.
sports.
And
Sorry.
and this is like a decision. It's not an option.
تم استلام
We received
أسلحة كثيرة من قبل بعض الفصائل
weapons by
Vikings define
different
socialism.
factions,
واللي يسلم سلاحه
and whoever surrender his weapon
ويتحول إلى جهة سياسية ومدنية.
turned into like a political or civilian.
من ناحيتنا سيتم التعاون معه.
We will
England
cooperate
has lost his
with them.
country to Islam.
بعد 30
It's about to take
9
it
After
back.
the 30th of
They're about to
September,
bring
لا
the
حاجة
fucking
لوجود أي
soccer.
فصائل
there's no any need for the presence
So
of
I
any
think they got left.
faction,
لكون الفصائل
because factions
هي حاجة وليس محنة.
First football game
It's
this
not
year
a
going to be your
profession.
first time in Australia.
وماكو مبرر لبقائهم بعد 30
There's
9.
no any justification for their existence after the
I'm
30th
sorry, this
of,
guy is just coming to get
إن
his
شاء الله
fucking payday
نهاية هذا
loan.
العام أو بداية العام
Yeah.
by the end of this year or by
This Iraqi prime minister coming for his payday loan.
beginning of the next
Give me
year,
my payday loan.
نعلن أكبر مؤتمر السيادة الوطني.
the sovereignty conference is the biggest conference in the region.
قرار العراق بيد
Done enough to vote
العراقيين
legally and still win the landslide.
By the hand of the Iraqis only.
وقواتنا الأمنية قادرة على حماية
And
أراضيها.
our security
Why
forces
has
are
Donald
capable
Trump
of
vomited
protecting
gold brick
their
all over the
borders.
Oval Office?
30/9
After the 30th of September.
I'm pretty sure this isn't the Oval Office. I'm pretty sure this is like the gold room or some shit. Like this is the cash for gold room. This is where he brings world leaders to get their payday loans.
لا نسمح لأي
Since the
جهة
White
تحمل
House is now a
سلاح
cash for
خارج
gold
بلدها.
operation.
Except for any entity to carry weapons outside the control of a state.
Islam will win FIFA World Cup. If Argentina wins, that's pretty much what we're saying.
I was wondering if you could explain your changing thinking on the Strait of Hormuz applying a 20%.
Rams 49ers, 1 week in
how did you
Australia,
get to
can't
the
wait.
decision you
Oh, that's
just-
pretty dope. That's
when I,
dope. Congrats.
Put that out yesterday.
Are you in
We've been
Australia
doing
one
that
shot?
For many, many years. It was never
You live
fair
there?
to me that we would be guarding the strait when we basically don't take anything. We don't need the oil at all. And
We don't need the oil, but we're going to spend every day, every hour for the next month and a half trying to help out these other people that need the oil. But we don't need it. We don't need the oil. There's other people need the oil.
it was
Iraq
important
suck,
for us,
what
but
happened
it was
in Iran
important
and
for
they are
allies. It was
simping.
important for people that we get
Supergirl
along with
bombed.
very well,
Facts,
including
bro.
the major.
Yo, but what about that Odyssey? Like, I'm really scared as a filmmaker because like I was super excited for Odyssey and it opened yesterday. We're not going to see the IMDb. Can we see the IMDb on Odyssey yet? But people were hate watching Odyssey before Odyssey came out. And honestly, there's like a part of me that's like, yeah, go for it because like we need to bring down the institutionalization of American fucking cinema. But at the other point is like, don't bash a director's work until he's done it. We still don't have a vote yet. But the way that you can really tell, guys, not the fucking Rotten Tomatoes or anywhere else for any of the ratings, the only way you can tell if a movie's good or not anymore, I'm giving you these barometers legitimately as a filmmaker who has studied this shit for years, okay? If a movie is 7.0 or higher, a movie, 7.0 or higher, it is worth watching if it is 7.0 or higher on IMDb. If a movie is 8.0 or higher on IMDb, it is one of the best movies you will watch all year or one of the best movies you will watch of that year. TV shows, if the TV show is not at least an 8.0, there is no reason to even watch it. There's too much TV. Unless it's like a sitcom or something that you really would enjoy, don't watch it if it's not at least above an 8.0. That's the barometers. And honestly, these are barometers that Amazon and Google have literally built algorithms to make sure that you can't actually fudge the numbers when you're voting for IMDb profiles. And it's how the industry actually determines now whether something is actually good or not. Because you can pay for 1,000 reviews through Rotten Tomatoes and then your movie bombs like Supergirl. But I mean, let's look at my barometer now. Let's look at Supergirl real quick. And then we'll get back to the news, guys. But if you go to Supergirl, I'll tell you, it's not going to be a 7-0, which means I'm not going to see it. 6-1. 6-1. It's a 6-1, guys. Ain't no fucking way I'm seeing it. Ain't no fucking way I'm seeing it. And you have to be a 7, because, like, look, even that new Avatar, like the third Avatar movie, like 7.2. See? It's like barely there. It's worth at least going. That's the barometer. That's what you should look at. I assure you. That is it.
So I put it
JD
out
2028,
yesterday.
Rubio 28, Rubio 36. Dude, why is Rubio not getting more love? Like, honestly, Rubio is top of the contenders on Kelchi every single day. I like Rubio more than Vance. I think it's the fear factor. I think it's the fear factor that people are like, I don't want Gavin Newsom, so I'll vote for JD Vance. Thinking like, if I vote for Marco Rubio, that's almost like a third party kind of thing. It's really weird because JD Vance didn't get a 100-0 vote. Rubio got a 100-0 vote in the Senate. The man is the most liked person in the entire fucking all of DC. Rubio is the number one liked person in all of DC. If you can get the public to like Rubio and stop making fun of him, Rubio's the fucking guy for everyone.
People that we all know and we all love. And
Even the
they've
one
been,
playing
frankly,
Supergirl
they've
isn't
been
a
very
7?
strong
Ow.
And they said, we'd love to do it a different way. We'd love to invest in the United States with billions and billions of dollars and continue our record setting, because there's never
I like
been a time
Hegseth
like
too.
this. in
I
the
like
United
Hegseth
States,
because
with the
he's better than a
factories, with
fat
the plants, with
diabetes,
everything
man.
else.
That
And we would like
hides from
to
surgery.
invest tremendously in the United States.
At least he's going and
as
doing
opposed to
push-ups at
charging a fee.
Guantanamo.
And I like that, actually, because I don't think anybody should be able to charge a fee for the...
Vance is a Marine veteran who
for the
served in
straight
combat.
work.
This is another fun fact for you all. Lindsey Graham is a veteran of the Air Force. And Lindsey Graham, his parents died at the age of 22. And he had a 13-year-old sister at the time. And he promised her that he would take care of her for the rest of his life. And Lindsey Graham left the Air Force and did not have a wife and did not have kids. Why? So that he could give his full military benefits to his sister, who went on to have 2 children of her own, be married, and is now having his Senate seat. Lindsey Graham might be the worst person in the world to all of us, but Lindsey Graham is the greatest big brother that ever existed.
Or any other straight relationship in terms of other
put it out there.
sections of the world.
Facts.
I don't think anybody should be really in that position. But we were doing it as a reimbursement. The
Air
Gulf
Force
states
Commander?
are going
Yeah.
to invest a tremendous amount of money into the United States, and that was very satisfactory to me. I think it's actually much better.
I would also ask, are you aware of why the FBI is looking into Senator Graham's death? Have you gotten any updates on why they were?
Oh, did you just hear that, guys? The reporter just said, do you have any idea why the FBI is looking into Senator Graham's death? And do you have any updates on that? Now, I just had a clip that went viral on Instagram and Facebook, and it did like 15 or 20,000 on YouTube as well. But I was basically speculating live on the podcast that what if Russia, because the military drone facility that Lindsey Graham was visiting the next day was shot down by 6 missiles from Russia. So what if Lindsey Graham never made it home and Lindsey Graham actually got killed in Russia or in Ukraine at that weapons manufacturing facility? We would want to cover that up. We would want to have staffers and other senators and people saying, oh yeah, he landed, he was in DC, he was calling on the phone, he was saying he had heart issues, blah, 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 blah. But reality is, everyone that was at that weapons manufacturing plant that Lindsey Graham was touring the day before his death doesn't exist anymore. 6 Russian missiles hit that weapons manufacturing plant. And now we got a reporter sitting here the next day asking the President of the United States, why is the FBI investigating a man's heart attack in D.C.? Why would they be doing that?
Well, I don't know why, because I think, he had a...
Well, I don't know why, because I think that he had a... Wow, I haven't heard anyone be more certain of someone's death before in my life. It sounds like you're trying to spin the story, sir.
problem. His father had a very similar problem, as you know. It's very unique.
I'm telling you, I feel like in 20, 30 years, we're going to find out that Lindsey Graham actually died in Ukraine from a bomb. I'm calling it now. This is the new Epstein, guys. I truly believe Lindsey Graham died at that weapon manufacturing plant. Whether Russia knew that he was there or not, that's what happened. Everything else is like continually telling me some bullshit story after the fact. I got a 911 phone call from inside the ambulance, but the 911 phone call only lasts 30 seconds. Okay. I got a, now the next day we have a staffer saying that a staffer of another senator was called instead of 911 by Lindsey Graham, and he said that he had heart issues, and then he got into the hospital. Okay. Russia killed a U.S. senator, guys. Russia killed a U.S. senator.
At first I heard it was clogged arteries, because he did have clogged arteries.
Dude, Graham posted a photo from the factory? Yeah.
He was...
Okay. Obviously. That doesn't mean that after he posted that photo that they didn't blow up the factory with him in it. Guys, there ain't no way at this point, unless you show me an open casket. Like, again, I am not a Candace Owens. I'm not going to live and die on the horse. Right now, though, I'm saying until you show me his fucking face, quit showing me a bunch of fake footage and fake 911 calls and telling me that he landed in D.C. I believe he died in Ukraine inside a weapons manufacturing plant. It's very easy for you to prove me wrong. Show me his fucking face. Show me his fucking face. But I guarantee you he will have a closed casket.
I wish he took better care of himself. I say, you can solve that problem, but what happened is actually something that's very hard to detect. It was not related to any blockage. It was a totally different thing. And supposedly, and I've watched all the medical reports, I've had the doctors from the White House come in and explain what happened. And this is something that is very, almost
You were
undetectable.
going to ask how may your videos never be placed in my feed again? All right, well, you just commented, so see you tomorrow.
And if it happens, there's not much you can do
See you
about it.
tomorrow!
Unfortunate, but there's not much you can do about it. If you look at his father died of the same thing at about the same age. So there was not much.
No, his father died of cardiac arrest. That is not what Lindsey Graham died of. Like, so...
They say it's almost undetectable. You can detect it by if you have a very bad back.
Saddam's
that's a
sons were
sign,
killed
it's a
and the
bad
left didn't
sign.
believe that. Facts.
So if anybody has a bad back,
I don't believe anything until you show me the facts of it, but I will always lean one way or the other. Is it very possible that he got home from that trip, that something stressed him out, and that he is a very stationary person, and that his heart seized up? Absolutely. But the fact that you are bringing this information to me to try to prove that that's what happened days after the fact. Oh, now there's a staffer that he called. Oh, his last phone call was saying he had a heart problem. Oh, he was on his way to the hospital. When he died, you said none of that existed. And then people started saying that he died inside of Ukraine at a weapons manufacturing plant. And then all of a sudden now we got this ambulance phone call. Now we got a staffer saying that he called instead of 911 when he had heart issues. Like, it's just, why wouldn't he look over at the person who is an assistant that he's with and go, I have heart pains. And then that person called 911. It's kind of crazy that you're saying this is a senator, just got off the plane from Ukraine, and he's calling another senator's staffer, and talking to the staffer on the phone is his last phone call going, yeah, it's just really stressful right now. I have really bad heart problems. There's no one in this room with me. I'm completely alone. I'm a senator who's completely alone and has no staff myself. And now I'm calling bottom level staff of another senator, not his cell phone, not his wife, not a friend, not anybody, not Donald Trump's fucking cell phone. I'm calling the staffer of another senator to let you know that you should call 911 because I'm dying. And now that's the proof that, sealed the deal. The end. No open casket needed anymore, guys. You're right. It'd be a crazy theory. There's so much more merit to this than the Candace Owens bullshit. There is so much more merit to this because, again, how in the world could you say that Putin killed a U.S. senator? If you said that, it would be chaos. It leads me to believe that's most likely what happened.
it's a pretty rough thing to think about.
Especially
But the fact
him
that's one of the
trying to
primary
reason
subjects,
it
and he would tell me
away,
he had a bad
which he
back.
never does.
But little did anyone realize it was for that. So, and when that bursts, which it did, it burst. There's not much. So I don't see a lot of evil there. I know there's all sorts of conspiracy theories going along, and I don't think the FBI. I think the FBI is wasting their time if they're doing it. Yeah.
So, like, again, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist is now trying to debunk conspiracy theories to make sure that you don't listen to the conspiracy theories that he's not feeding you. Tell me this ain't wag the fucking dog, guys.
On the prior question, the Hormuz Strait toll idea for you, that's dead now. That's completely gone.
No, I just told you. You have Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait, primarily, and then others. I spoke to all of them, and they would.
Only if MAGA loses, Big Flower. Let's not worry about MAGA losing. Let's worry about every single incumbent senator that went on vacation, all 520 of them being removed from office. Let's not be stupid anymore, guys. They only work like less than 100 days out of the year, and they went on vacation, and they made us all suffer. Democrat, Republican, quit making the blame game. Remove every single last one of them. I want Nazi lobster farmers only. I want Ken Paxton protecting pedophiles only. I don't care who it is. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't care who it is. It needs to be someone new. We cannot keep playing this vanilla politics where we go, oh, well, I'm on the blue team versus the red team. And when the red team's in charge, it's better. You keep, like, remember how you felt when Joe Biden was president. Did you feel good as a Democrat? No. Remember how you feel right now as a Republican. Do you feel tremendous every day? No. The fact is that it's always going to beat down your door, the media, having to build this narrative that there's something wrong in your life. Whether it's your groceries are too expensive, or you don't have health care, or there's an immigrant invading your home, or whatever else. You have to focus on the job. And the job is not to go on vacation and to actually pay people that work at the airport. And every last one of them decided to go on vacation and not pay the people at the airport. Trump didn't do that. The judges didn't do that. But all 520 plus members of Congress did that. And they all think that in November you're going to sit in that booth and you're going to vote for one party over the other. And I encourage you to go into that booth and vote for anybody whose name you do not recognize. Because that means they have no money behind them. And that means your literal community as well as your country have hope again. Because if corporations continue to buy things out like they just did with Graham Plattner, like, guys, the Democrats literally focused on removing Graham Plattner over sexual assault violence when they were condoning him for Nazism, when they were condoning him for communism, when they were condoning him for everything else. They had to condemn him for sexual assault to get him off the stage to put up a CDC official in his place. Meanwhile, you have Tellerico, who's literally pointing out that Ken Paxton, a man who he's running against in Texas, a Republican in Texas, literally gave a sweetheart deal of 29 days to a convicted pedophile that touched an 8-year-old boy. Epstein on steroids. And the media is not going to even touch that. They're going to feed into all Sunday Jake Tapper talking to some lady about how 30 years ago she was drunk and she may or may not have had sex with Graham Plattner. Get him off the stage. Get him off the stage. Meanwhile, literally Tellerico running in Texas as a Democrat against Ken Paxton. And Ken Paxton is protecting people literally like Epstein. No media coverage. None. They have never cared about you. There's a reason I don't work for these organizations anymore, people. They have never cared about you.
Be very acceptable. And this way, there's no
fear. The Dems never said Nazis were good. No, the Dems just said it's okay that this man is a communist with a Nazi tattoo. That was okay. It's not okay that you may have been drunk and had sex with someone you were familiar with and unlocked the door for you 30 years ago. That's the Democratic Party. Cancel who you want, condemn who you don't. The rules don't make sense for anybody. What I'm saying is, it does not matter. Both Ken Paxton, not even Ken Paxton, because he already removed fucking the senator. But we need to remove all 520 of the senators. That's the fucking big thing here. Get rid of every single name on the ballot. When you go into the booth, they don't say, do you want a Republican ticket or a Democrat ticket? No. It's a midterm. They also, you're not going to go into the midterm saying, you better vote for the Republican guy or else you're throwing your vote away. Or you better vote for the Democrat guy or else you're throwing your vote away. There is no throwing your vote away. So just vote for the people that don't fund commercials to lie about people. Just vote for the people that you don't know, that you've never heard of, that aren't actual Congress people, because they are better off than the people that are currently in there going on vacation for 250 days out of the year and not paying anybody that works at an airport.
Concept of a fee. But at the same time, it's not fair that we're
My little
protecting
rant,
this
my little
trade
rant.
for the entire world, for China and everyone. I don't mind protecting it for China. I don't mind protecting it for anybody, but it's unfair that we're not in somehow compensated. And we've been doing this for many years. It's bothered me 25 years ago. It bothered me. During my first term,
Everybody
I
tap
was
that
doing
screen,
things
absolutely.
Like you have to invest in the United States. But by doing it that way, there's no
Magnitude
fee.
23, I
They're
like your
investing,
23s
and
as
they're
well.
getting a return on
Welcome
their
to the
money,
mod
and
club,
it's
my
good.
guy.
But
Never
they're gonna be
ban.
making-
Don't ban anybody. I give standard mod access to people that I just see helping out in the chat, keeping the chat going. I appreciate you saying everybody should double tap that screen. Make sure you double tap that screen. And also, I love the 2323 because my life revolves around 23. I was born the year that Michael Jordan won his first NBA championship in Chicago. I was born on February 23rd, 1991. My brother, 4 years later, when Michael Jordan returned to the Bulls and won his second of his three-peats, was in 1995. And my brother was born March 23rd, 1995. So I was born February, my brother was born March, February, March, 23rd, and my dad always said walking around, well, God gave me only one number to remember, the number 23, the easiest number for any man in the Chicagoland area or a sports fan to remember. For my son's birthdays, 23. Welcome to the Mod Club. You can put anybody in timeout for up to 60 seconds to over 24 hours if they're pissing you off. Just don't ban anybody. We let them sit in silence. Free speech first.
massive investments into
Only thing that's not allowed,
the
if you,
United
I think the rules are still on the board, but only thing that's not allowed, let's not use the 86, let's not use any references to assassinations or death or trying to eliminate people. This is a political podcast. Let's keep it in the real world.
States, and I like that much better.
Can I ask you a bit about the meeting that you had today, whether you discussed OPEC?
Here's to the bad person.
There's been
Kyle?
some reporting that Iraq is pushing for changes to OPEC, a larger share, and even that they might consider leaving it over
There's the gentleman right here, because here he is. Would you like to know about it?
That's crazy, Mooncat. That's crazy. You and your brother are both 22nd of February and March. That is wild.
Are you considering, Mr. Prime Minister, leaving OPEC, or are you pushing for changes within it? And Mr. President, would you
How do you
support,
feel about the Jews?
Well, I support him.
They're okay today. They're not bugging me today.
You know, I supported him very early I endorsed him.
See what I
Something
did
I
there?
rarely do, but I've
The
had
Jews
great
control the weather.
successes endorsing. You know, we just had Colombia. This was a big one. Argentina was
The
a big
Birdman
one.
of
We had
Boston.
many. I've endorsed
Welcome back, Michael.
I think
Wait, Michael, are
everybody
you just coming back, or you've been in here? You've
endorsed
been in here.
from a foreign standpoint. They just win. And, you know, I've been hearing great things. I'm a student of a lot of history, and I do know a lot about the history of Iraq. And I've watched what was happening in Iraq.
Bro, look at his face. Look at his face. That is the. I watched a lot of what was going on in Iraq. I saw a lot of what was going on in Iraq. This man's face is like, sure you did. Sure you did. Sure you did, buddy. This motherfucker really talk about Iraq like he been here? This motherfucker really talking about my hometown like he been here?
with the elections, and I put a very strong endorsement out because I was very unhappy with the man that was supposed to win the election. And this great gentleman, I think he's going to end up being a great leader. He won, so I'm very happy about that. As far as OPEC, that's his decision, and you might ask him that question.
لا اوبك احنا احد البلدان المؤسسه لها.
We are one of the
My
countries
brothers were
that
born on the
established
23rd.
OPEC.
لكن نضيف
Bro, you ever heard about the
حقنا
theory of
وحصة
23? Let's jump
مصطنعة.
into it real quick. I'll give it to you on ChatGPT. Theory of 23 and the boats and the book. This is crazy because basically they're saying that like the Matrix is real and that the number 23 is the reason that the Matrix exists. Okay. It sounds like you're referring to a few different ideas. The theory of 23. The 23 enigma is the idea that the number 23 appears unusually often in significant events, names, dates, and coincidences. It's associated with writer William S. Burroughs, who popularized the idea after recounting a strange coincidence involving the number, Robert Wilson and Robert Shea, who expanded on its fiction in 2007 movie The Number 23. The boats. There are several boat mysteries that happen. The disappearance of okay. Wait, no, but I gotta get the actual story. What is it? It's give me the story from the 70s of the guy who wrote the book cult book. Move on, everyone. Yep, 23. Okay. You're talking about one of the most famous stories about 23 Enigma, which was popularized in the 70s by Robert Wilson. Wilson said he first heard it from William Burroughs, who claimed that the events happened around the 1960s in Tangier. The story is later incorporated into Wilson and Robert Shea's cult classic, The Illuminist Trilogy. The story goes like this. Burroughs met a ferry captain named Captain Clark in Tangier, Morocco. One day, Captain Clark proudly told him that he had been sailing the Tangier to Spain route for 23 years without a single accident. Later that very same day, Burroughs heard that the Captain Clark's ferry had sunk, killed Clark and everyone on board. That evening, while still thinking about the strange coincidence, Burroughs turned on the radio. The first news report described an airplane crashed in Florida. According to the story, the pilot's name was Captain Clark. The aircraft's flight, 23. Burroughs was struck by the apparent coincidence and began collecting occurrences of the number 23, believing it appeared far more often than the chances would suggest. Robert Wilson later adapted the idea and spread it through his books and essays, especially the Luminous Trilogy and the comic Triggers. Yeah, dude, it's a wild rabbit hole.
Like a fair
Wild
share
rabbit
for
hole.
Iraq.
العراق
Just have fun
حارب
watching.
داعش
I'm telling y'all some of the stuff the left comes up with. Just hilarious.
Terrorism at all.
وبدعم الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية
Support of the United States of America.
وهذه الحرب مع داعش
This fight with ISIS
كلفتنا نفقات كبيرة
cost us like huge amounts of money.
ودمرت البنى التحتية
And
العراقية.
destroyed the Iraqi infrastructure.
مقدار الضرر اللي أصاب
The
العراق
damage that really was against Iraq
أكثر من 400 مليار دولار.
is more
Oh,
than
and that's our poll of the day right now,
$400
guys. Let's get into our second poll of the day. All right, we are in hour 2. How many? Wow, we're gonna go to hour 3, guys. Michael, we're getting 3 hours tonight. 20,000 already in the live chat. Hour 2 up now. Gavin Newsom versus JD Vance. Give us your suggestions for the third-party candidates in the third hour, guys. We'll be coming up with them pretty soon here. Who will be president? Oh, wait, let me pull this back up in here. Image that. There we go. Who will be president in 2028? 847 days until election. We got Mr. JD Vance with 47 wins. And we got Mr. Gavin Newsom with 18 wins. Get your vote in now, people, for hour 2. Starts right now. Let me rattle off for you just the percentages. These are the third-party candidates that have already been in our poll of the day. Make sure you drop a comment in the comment section if you do not hear your third-party candidate, because we will do at least a third hour tonight, guys. So at 8:50 tonight, Central Time, in about an hour, we will have our third poll, and it will be a actual third-party candidate. Yo, the man Alex, do your thing, baby. Absolutely. And here we go. Here are the third-party candidates so far that we have done in nights like tonight, mega nights where we had a lot of viewers, okay? Mark Zuckerberg got 6%. Vivek Ramaswamy, 6%. Olivia Rodrigo, Melania Trump, both got 7%. Dave Portnoy, 8%. Thomas Massey, Alex Jones, John Fetterman, and Theo Vaughn, all with 9%. RFK, 10%. Tulsi Gabbard and Ben Shapiro, 11%. Bobby Lee, Stephen Miller, Elon Musk, Asmongold, The Rock, Pete Buttigieg, all with 12%. AOC, 14%. Shane Gillis and Joe Rogan, 15%. Mark Cuban, 16%. Michelle Obama, 17%. Taylor Swift, 19%. Afro Man, 20%. Tucker Carlson, 21%. Mr. Beast, Kamala Harris, Matthew McConaughey, and Jon Stewart, all with 22% of the third-party vote. And our highest third-party vote getter, nobody in the third party has ever won before, but our suggestion from Michael Olson, our mod over here of Snoop Dogg, got us 25% one time. Make sure you drop a comment over the next hour if you hear a name that wasn't called there that you think could be a good third-party candidate up against Gavin Newsom and J.D. Vance. Right now we got hour 2, just J.D. versus Gavi, and I will see you guys all then. Here we go, back into the news. Let's go back to President Donald Trump.
Until today, like some Iraqi cities are...
That poor Snoop Dogg. He got 25, man. That's the biggest we've ever gotten.
والآن لدي خطة أعيدهم إلى دورهم.
I have a plan to get
I'll be back one second. I got to blow my nose.
نريد حصة منصفة
We need
للعراق
a fair share.
لا أكثر من
We
ذلك.
need a fair share.
I might just answer because if you remember, even though I was a civilian and had no thought of running for president, I get a disproportionate amount of publicity, as you probably heard. And I used to say, don't go into Iraq. Don't attack Iraq. Frankly, they attacked the wrong country. And they did a lot of damage. Yes.
Thank you. Given how the Iranians have been behaving, do you have any regrets about lifting the naval blockade or giving the sanctions waivers?
No. I gave them a chance. I wanted to give them a chance at making a deal. You know, we had a deal 2 days ago. It was done. And then all of a sudden, they couldn't do it. They didn't like something about the deal. They couldn't do it. And they shot first, and that was a big mistake that they shot first because we have been knocking the hell out of them. They're very difficult people. 47 years we put up with it. The SS Cole, you go back all the way, thousands of people, thousands of Americans were killed, a lot of soldiers were killed. A lot of soldiers are walking around or not walking around. I mean, they've been so badly injured. The arms, the legs, the face, with the Soleimani, with the bomb. They call it the roadside bomb. Most people call it the roadside bomb. It's a disaster. And I killed him in my first administration. Had I not, it might be a different story today. He was a mad genius. He was a mad, probably a madman, but he was a general, and he had total control over the country. And I actually think the leaders of Iran were afraid of Soleimani. But I killed him. And by the way, with him went a very bad person also. They happened to be meeting each other at the airport. And a very bad person from Iraq happened to be, a leader of Iraq happened to be killed in that same incident. So I don't know if I did you a favor or not. I've never asked you that question. You probably would know better than me. But no, I think that what we've done to Iran is we've taken away all of them, almost all of their military.
The independents still like Trump and the party knows what a woman is. I mean, yeah, if we're going into a presidential election, like we know we got to choose red or blue. The Democrats have made that obvious. And right now we're still on whoever Daddy Trump endorses, basically. Whoever the Republican Party endorses is gonna pretty much get all the win on that. I just don't know what's going to happen in these midterms because I think that there is the perspective that I have, which is remove them all. Like they're all toxic liars, oligarchy, fucking kings and queens. Fucking remove them. And you got the media over here being like, oh well, actually this is a referendum on Trump. Oh, actually this is a referendum on the Democrats. No, it's just a referendum on you not doing your fucking job, bro.
Military capability.
There's nutbags that the post need to be put down.
Explain.
You certainly get rid of the dementia face.
He has to hear that. Go ahead.
Donald J. Trump is the best president of the time, and I'll vote for him every time. Can't vote for him again, though. It's a problem.
عندما كان رئيسا للولايات المتحدة فالفكرة هو طبعا كان شخص ذكي جدا وعبقري لكنه كان شرير بنهاية المطاف وفي حادث استهداف وقتل عراقي كان في صحبته كانوا يلتقوا في مطار في العراق في بغداد فهو بيسأل هل هو كان عملكم خدمة أم لا ما هي النظرة بالنسبة لمقتل سليماني
أنا في ذاك الوقت لا أمارس السياسة.
At that time I was not in politics.
وأريد كل جيتي نتحدث عن المستقبل إيش راح نسوي.
In my visit, like I'd like to talk about the future.
شبعانين من ماضينا القديم.
Now, like we are fed up with the past.
you, Mr. President. Mr. Producer.
Godsmack wants more of it.
Thank you for your time. Last year in May, the Prime Minister
I agree with that, but that wouldn't happen in the real world.
signed about $110 billion in energy
Starting to get the Biden stare? I don't know about that, guys. It's very coherent.
Washington, D.C.
Wishful thinking on that shit, man.
In Baghdad, and
Meanwhile,
we
Biden's
work
still doing
together
interviews, though.
better, that investment could grow.
I gotta plug in the chat real quick for a minute, guys.
To
So
the
I'll be
leaders
off
in
the chat for a
Baghdad
minute.
and agree to work together. Why I
Just to
ask
the end of the
this
Trump
question,
interview, and then we'll go.
Because you are
Go back to the chat.
American makers, Mr. President.
Thank you. I love this question. That's my favorite question so far, by far. Thank you very much for the question. Look, Baghdad, I think, and I and this country, we're going to make some tremendous music together. We haven't been dealing very much over the last 4 or 5 years with the previous administration. Iraq has tremendous potential because of their oil and because of other things, but because of their oil. And we're going to be doing a lot of deals. We're going to create a lot of jobs for both countries, and we're going to be taking out a lot of oil. A lot of oil is coming out, and the American companies are doing it.
Taking
Mostly
all the
American
oil.
companies now, they don't
Lots
want to
of
do
oil.
business with others. They want to do business with America, and that's good. And that's one of the reasons that I felt so strongly that this was going to be a great prime minister, and I fought for that. Go ahead.
How would you describe your relationship with Kurdistan regional government at this time?
When he starts shaking hands with the air, then I'll worry. Facts, Michael.
Because Prime Minister yesterday
Facts,
had a
Michael.
statement on fully
Not even close to the same thing.
كيف
Wishful thinking,
مع كردستان
for sure.
اليوم انه السيد كرئيس وزراء.
أنا أنظر للعراق جسد
I look at Iraq as a body.
وكل
Predicted
رقعة
his own
جغرافية
war.
في العراق هي عضو من جسدي
Each part of Iraq is part of my own body.
فما راح أميز عضو عن
So
آخر.
I would never
Called the
distinguish between
ruler
two,
of Ukraine,
any
Putin.
organ.
Same thing, ain't it? Isn't Putin running Ukraine? Oh wait. Oh no, we're not letting that happen.
ولا
It's Lindsey
يمكن
Graham,
أن
right?
أقطع جزء من جسدي بيدي.
And I cannot cut off any part of any organ from my own body.
كردستان جزء مهم من العراق.
Kurdistan is such an important part of Iraq.
لا يختلفون عن البصرة وعن المحافظات
No
الأخرى.
different than Basra and other provinces.
But because such nice things were said about him, that means he likes the man that said those nice things.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I have a question for you and I have a question for Prime
Go
Minister.
ahead.
And the first question, Mr. Prime Minister, why did you choose the United States as your first trip abroad? And what steps, concrete steps, do you take when you go back to Iraq to make sure that the agreements you are reaching in Washington, D.C. implemented?
أنا ورثت بلد ثقيل
I inherited such a heavy burden country.
وأنا كماجستير مالية
I have a master degree in finance.
حللت الوضع الاقتصادي للبلد.
I analyzed the economic situation of the country.
هذا الثقل يراد معي شريك استراتيجي يحمله معي.
With this burden, I
He said he was going to bomb Japan. When did he say he was going to bomb
need
Japan?
such a strategic partner to really lift this burden.
Y'all
وأهم
really
شريك
reach, don't
استراتيجي
you?
في العالم
The most important strategic partnership in,
هو الولايات
partner in the world
المتحدة الأمريكية.
is the United States of America.
فلم تكن زيارتي عابرة أو من فراغ.
It wasn't just like any visit or I came out of
ولم تكن عاطفية وإنما
It's not
عقلية.
emotional, it's about mind.
Inflation slowed to 3.5% in
thank you.
June. Will this trend hold now that strikes on Iran?
I think so. I think it's going to, inflation's down. We inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. They say 48 years. It was the worst in the history of our country from Biden, Sleepy Joe. He might have been sleepy, but boy, he could create.
That is very true, Oregon. Oregon, I'm gonna give you mod access, giving you standard mod access, my guy. Oregon's great comment here. Plus, everything was censored on YouTube or Facebook. You got Insta timeouts. The government deleted anything that didn't promote Biden's half-baked ideas. This was facts. And, like, I literally had my first ever, like, permanent ban where I had a 7-day strike on my YouTube account where I literally couldn't post anything for 7 days. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to post anything for 7 days. I had never even gotten that far. And it was from me literally clipping out Bill Gates talking about the fucking pandemic on a 60 Minutes interview. And they were saying that it was misinformation. It was like they really warped any kind of dialogue into their own control. And yeah, so I don't want them ever to get in power again. And you're saying, oh no, Daddy Trump, oh no, the swamp, oh no, the Nazism and the blah, blah, whatever the fuck you want to say. At least I'm able to do my fucking job now.
Inflation like nobody. And I inherited that, and I got blamed
Appreciate
for it.
you, Morgan.
It's not my fault. We are putting it to sleep. And we've done a great job, Scott and Howard and Marco and even Pete, because he's watching his dollars, right? But they've done a fantastic job. We've all done a fantastic job. So we had the worst inflation in history and the history of our country. I mean, we had months where it was 9 and 10%.
Amen to that, absolutely.
And now we have a report came out. It was just
I appreciate when people recognize it, because it's like, I understand, like, oh, like, every time you get into these conversations, even about the pandemic or BLM or anything, it gets into the speculatory conversation where people forget. But one thing you cannot forget is the fact that, like, you can forget the transgenders on the White House lawn versus the UFC and blah, blah, blah. The one thing you can't forget is that you weren't allowed to say anything. If you said anything against them, they would literally manipulate it through corporate structures to stop you from being able to just say what your own fucking opinion was. Even if you were just some dad on the street, pulled up a phone, bought it from Verizon, download TikTok and go, I like Donald Trump. They're going to freeze the fucking account. It was ridiculous, the amount of censorship that existed before the 2024 campaign. And I really feel like the 2024 campaign won because we just could not do that. And now here they are doing it again with Graham Plattner, canceling him after they already accepted his non-cancellation. So it just leads me to believe I can never, ever, ever trust anybody in the DNC. All that they're after is corporate cancellations and making sure that none of us have a fun time.
Please, thank you for bringing it up. But the report
Free
was
speech
incredible.
for all, absolutely.
Inflation is way down. That means prices are coming way down, and we're doing a great job. Remember that. Remember that in the midterms. I say to that camera, remember that, because nobody else could do it. Prices are way down. Prices are coming way down, and we're going to bring them much lower yet.
President Trump, people around the world and around the nation are...
The lockdown happened under Trump, right, but there wasn't a single corporation or media infrastructure that was stopping me from saying something that was anti-Trump. So, live in whatever delusional reality you want to live in.
Anticipating your big
There's
announcement on
one
Wednesday
type of
regarding
thing
election
you weren't allowed to
machines
talk
and
about.
integrity. Can you give us sort of
And
a
it's
sneak
the
peek
reason
about
he
what
won,
to
and if you want to
expect?
not
Tell
admit
the
it,
audience and
he's
America.
gonna his
Concern
team
that
is going to
subject.
keep
We'll have
winning.
a couple of other things to
Why
say
should people
also.
If you can't
But I'd
admit that you were
rather
wrong
save it,
for
but it's
stifling free speech for 4 years.
really big news. It's really, really big news. And our country has to...
Y'all fucking kicked Tucker Carlson off the air. But you forget that because now he has the largest podcast in America. It's fucking crazy. Corporate infrastructure, those Jeep Cherokees honking while Joe Biden wears a mask and accepts President of the United States that night in 2021 in January. That was, in November of 2020, honestly. That was the scariest thing you could have ever seen. That Saturday. That 4 days after the election, a lawn full of just Jeep Cherokees 2020s and him there with the mask lifting it going, let me talk to all these honking Jeep Cherokees. They're not a sponsor. I'm not a sellout. I'm just a normal politician here. And then proceeded for 4 years to stifle anybody that was against him. Including RFK, and got me. Guys, I had never voted for Donald Trump on a Maine ticket. On a blue-red presidential actual ticket, I had never voted for Donald Trump. I had to in 2024 because the Democrats forced RFK off the debate stage and said third parties don't matter anymore. And guess who endorsed him? Trump.
What we're going to be talking about Thursday is
You don't understand what you lost. You lost
without
all of
free
it.
and fair elections, you don't have a country.
That 3 to 4% of the electorate is what wins elections, and you lost all of it. And Democrats seem to have no issue just continuing to push libertarians off the edge.
We'll be discussing other things too, but it's going to be a very big announcement. Yeah.
Mr. President, your administration pushed hard to shape Iraq's leadership and tied U.S. support to disarming Iran-backed factions. With the September 15th deadline weeks away, what happening in Baghdad misses it? And does the U.S. troops withdrawal from Kurdistan region still proceed on schedule?
I think everything's on schedule. We have a great. Here we are. I mean, we're right now. I even called for a lunch that wasn't scheduled.
Trump
okay?
gave us free speech. He gave it back.
But,
gave it back to us.
No,
I don't
we
think
usually we
he gave us it.
I don't think I've ever done that. Where
I think
we
it was
didn't have
taken
lunches.
away for 4 years. I really do. Because, yeah, there were oh, YouTube did this to me, or oh, Google did this to me, or oh, Twitter did this to me, but there wasn't an infrastructure that had all of them all doing it for the same purpose.
Said, let's have lunch. You know why? Because I like them.
And that was the scariest thing in American
I think that's all
history.
gonna
Was
work
those
out
4
very well.
fucking years of just do not say anything medically wrong, or you will be
Well, I
removed
know
for
that
forever.
Lindsey wanted it very badly. I think they may be adding Iran to it. They're going to add Iran, which is a very
Corrupt.
big thing if they did that. They may add Hezbollah, too. Just put them if you do
It's
business
always going
with
to be this
Hezbollah.
clown.
So we're looking at
Demented.
that, but they're seriously thinking, and this is in honor of Lindsey. This was his thing. He wanted this more than any other thing. You know how he felt. And there's a good chance that it gets done. But they'd like to add Iran, and they'd like to add Hezbollah to it. That's what I'm hearing. So.
And that was secondary sanctions on China, India, Europe.
We'll have to look. That hasn't been discussed.
My question for you, the Prime Minister, Ali Zaidi, has launched a campaign to bring weapons held by militia under the control of the state. How does your administration support him to accomplish this vision? And my second question, how do you envision the future relations between Kurdistan region and Iraq?
I think everything is going to work out. I think people are, the Middle East, believe it or not, is coming together. We're getting rid of the bully of the Middle East. Iran was the bully of the Middle East. They bullied Iraq. They bullied every country. There was fear all over the Middle East with other countries. I understand that.
That's a
but
good
there was
response.
fear. But there's
We're
no
able to
fear
get that
anymore
one from
because
the
their
back.
military capability has been knocked to hell. And there's no fear. I think the Middle East is coming together like it's never come together before. You can't have a dominant factor like Iran that would kill 52,000 protesters. You know, they killed. Nobody likes talking about that. I don't like talking.
There was federal mandates passed down from the social media corporations to ban anyone that said anything out of line at 1984 type shit. It was, and it got all mixed into this Elon Musk, Twitter files, Joe Rogan bullshit. But there was a real, authentic story there that a lot of corporate media structures, including the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, just did not want to admit was actually going on because it allowed them to have a structure over people like me and Asmongold and Critical Moist and Philip DeFranco. And now look at what's happening to us in the UK and in Europe. They're literally trying to create laws so that YouTube has to build an algorithm so that you only see NBC News in the news feed and you never see my live stream. So double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe. We're almost into hour 3, guys. Big night tonight. Thank you all for joining.
So the bottom line,
See, I
all
told you,
regions, I believe,
these
are coming
lefts are
together.
fucking just
And I think
hilarious.
it's going to be. This is going to be
Orwell
one of
is
the
the
great
goat.
leaders right here. It's going to be one of the
Orwell's
great
the
leaders
goat.
in the
Wow.
Middle East. Go ahead, please. Just explain that, please.
أعتقد إنه الآن الشرق الأوسط.
Wait, just explain that, please. What was he explaining to him? Hold on, I gotta get this. I gotta get this.
This is going to be one of the great leaders right here. It's going to be one of the great leaders in the Middle East. Go ahead, please. Just explain that, please.
Just explain that, please. Okay, what's funny about that is that this man showed up. This man showed up, and the first things he said were in English. So this man heard what Donald Trump said. Those were very simple words out of Donald Trump's mouth. And he's like, interpret that shit. Interpret that shit now. This guy's like, dude, I heard you. You said I'm awesome. Got it. Interpret that shit. Interpret it now.
هي كانت تتنمر على الجميع فالآن انتهى هذا الدور.
You march with
ولا
Kalamani's
يمكن
funeral?
أن نسمح
That sounds
لقوة
fake. There's no way we would
واحدة أو
let him
بلد
if he
واحد
did
بأن
that, right?
يهيمن على كامل المنطقة. يعني الناس يغفلون عن
Wow, it's taking a long time to explain he's a cool guy.
قتلت 52,000 متظاهر في إيران. طبعا نحن لا يمكننا نحن لا نتحدث عن ذلك وأنا نفسي يعني أنا الرئيس أكره أن أفكر في هذا الأمر لكنهم كذلك والآن انتهى هذا الدور ولم يعد لإيران أي دور في التنمر على أي من جيرانها.
And I think we could go into this for a long time. And the bottom line is that we have a fantastic relationship with many countries now. I just came back from NATO. Many of you were there, and you saw how that worked out. It was a phenomenal. It was a love fest, to be honest, and they loved the United States.
Trump, it's a great compliment. Tell him exactly disturbed. That was. Welcome back, Two Gun Cohen. Howdy. Two Gun Cohen is part of our memberships, guys. $4 a month. Help support the channel. Get that little logo next to your name in the chat for big nights like tonight. You start off as a North Korean. That's why he says, welcome, comrades. He is currently a Cuban, so he's still a comrade. Because you're North Korean, then the second month you're a Venezuelan, the third you're a Cuban, 6 months you become an American citizen, and then after a year you graduate to the true, authentic citizenship of being an Israeli.
Even like me,
you get
but
that
they love
Israeli
the
flag, I
United
think.
States. And, we're going to cut costs there by hundreds of billions of
I can't wait
dollars,
for my
maybe.
first Israeli.
But,
I feel like Two Gun Cohen might be
the
our
NATO
first
event
Israeli.
is
Either
incredible.
that or Betsy.
Today's event is incredible. This is a potentially really great country.
Get in now, guys. Help support the channel. $4 a
And
month.
many people would say it's a great country. We're helping it. We want to help it. We have a fantastic relationship with the new Prime Minister. He's a strong person.
Yep.
He's a very brilliant guy. He's very much acknowledged. Or he couldn't have won that election. That was a highly competitive election. And he went out and won. And it's a big story. I mean, it's a big, big story. And I just want to say that
the biggest story.
That the United States has never done better. We're doing well. You know, more people are working today in the United States than at any time in history. We have more things being built. Factories, plants, AI, automobile plants are being built at record numbers, more than we've ever had ever before. The tariffs have been used very judiciously and properly, and companies are pouring in, and countries are pouring into this country.
Israel's my flag
to build factories because when they build them, they have no tariffs.
Appreciate the support, too.
And we have numbers $19.2 trillion. As an example, under Biden, it was less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We're at $19.2 trillion for 12 months. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Our relationship with Iraq is, I would say, it went from being not so good to being outstanding. And we're going to have a long-term relationship with Iraq. We're going to have a long-term relationship with a man that will be a great leader. Mark my words. I knew what I was doing. This man is going to be a great leader in the Middle East, beyond
Everything
Iraq.
out of his mouth is bullshit.
His influence is going to spread all throughout the Middle East, and we're very happy about it. And we're very happy to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Guys, like, give me my fucking check, Daddy. Daddy, give me my check.
Hey, I don't think there's anything much else you can ask us.
You can't ask us anything. Bye.
It's something I've never.
Hey, in tradition with Iraqi state media, you're not allowed to ask any questions. Goodbye.
No lunch
Trash, come on,
schedule.
Josh. Stop spamming the chat, my guy. Say it once. That's it.
Sometimes we'll have a lunch schedule.
Say it once, my guy.
But I've never done this, right?
I'm going to
Susie?
time you
This is
out
the
for
first.
1 minute.
So I have no idea what we're going to be
One
eating.
comment,
but it'll be
bro.
fine.
Quit spamming.
But we're doing it because we like the people that we're with. Thank you very much.
Leading with tradition of Iraqi state media, we will be taking no questions. Taking 0 questions. All right, Tom Holman.
Approach a car, and so
he got a lot of shootings on his plate.
These agents are involved.
Don't spam the chat, my guy. Don't spam it. Don't spam it.
How the investigation leads.
One comment apiece.
It's absolutely a pause.
You don't need to do it twice.
It'd be up to Secretary Mullen and the ICE director. They made this decision, but I think what they're doing is taking a pause and make sure that, number one, the ICE officers have everything they need to stay safe, because vehicle attacks are up 3,400%. And they're going to make sure it's
I hate that shit. 3,400%. What the fuck does that even mean? Why don't you say we had 30 attacks on vehicles and we had 0 the year before? Like, what is 3,400? You're doing the same inflammatory bullshit as the people that you say that you're against.
Is the training sufficient?
Trash.
Did
All right.
anything go wrong?
There goes
I'm
a 10
confident they're
minute
gonna
now.
get back to their
I guess you
policy
can wait
of
10
vehicle
minutes
stop.
now. You don't
They're
listen.
doing, what
I
they
said
believe
don't
is a
spam,
necessary
bro.
short-term pause
Don't
just to look
spam.
at it.
Don't spam. That's what I said. Don't spam. And then you spammed anyway. So now you get a 10-minute timeout. I think some people just like getting spankings in the chat.
Make sure everything's good. But, I see, a lot of messaging out there when I'm hearing, because I don't do a lot of social media. Oh, this is another example of not making
He's
arrests.
using
Look,
Trump
give me a
math.
minute. I've done this for a
1
long
billion
time.
%.
You can certainly arrest the alien before he gets in the car, when he leaves home. You can certainly arrest the alien when he parks the car, where he gets to where he's going.
Anytime you see anyone in politics start adding up percentages, they're just trying to inflame the number. They did the same thing with the fucking with the swamp, with the stupid reflecting pool. They were like, crime has been up 1,300% over since we've installed the. You mean you arrested 3 people and you never arrested anybody there for the last 5 years? She also was like saying, like Janine Shapiro, when she did that, she said, we're arresting over half a dozen. Over half a dozen. So you mean less than 12, which would be a dozen, but more than 6. But you see how the orchestration of the conversation, we arrested over half a dozen. Like, it's shit like that.
Where they need to do vehicle stops.
Whatever happened to that 50K from Homan?
Shh, and before you enter a city, downtown city, you want to take them down in a desolate area.
Why now we shooting fucking Mexicans?
It's safer. There are so many different extenuating circumstances that these officers have to consider. Where do I stop it, or do I wait till he stops, or should I approach him before he gets into the car? I mean, that's a 2-ton weapon. The average weight of a vehicle is 2 tons. So sometimes it makes sense not to let him get behind the wheel. A 2-ton could be a weapon when vehicle attacks up, like I said, 3,400%.
Just doesn't say he was trying to hit him with their vehicle at this. They said that he was fleeing the scene and they feared for public safety. They didn't say that he was trying to
yeah, and this is the problem, is like, after all these years of all this police violence, how have we not learned to train people to not shoot people in the back of the head as they're driving away on a car? Like, every time as Republicans or as libertarians or as Americans, we always justify the cops' actions and go, well, you shouldn't have ran away. There's a certain time and a place where you stop, like, thinking that you're here for, like, again, the thing with the lady where she was literally running over the guy. Yeah, shoot her in the head. Shoot her in the head because she's trying to run you over. But then the Adam dude, the nurse, I don't know. Same thing with this guy. You're driving away. They're not standing in front of the vehicle. Why do you need to shoot? Why do you need to have deadly action, deadly force on that? You don't. Why can't we just fucking say it?
I can't speak what DHS
We
says.
need to start condemning the bad actions of these individual officers instead of continually lumping this into a, no, it's okay to shoot people, no, it's not okay to shoot people. It's not okay to shoot people. Also, I would like to arrest all the bad people. Is that hard? Is it really that hard?
What I've always said is that we're going to let the investigation play out and find out where it lands.
This mouth breather is running ice. He is a mouth
cell
breather. That is true.
are out there. We don't know if there's city cams and telephone poles. I certainly don't know.
Stop stepping in front of cars. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, they stand in front of the car and then they're like, the car tried to run me over, so I got to shoot them. Don't stand in front of the car.
I haven't seen the statement from the officers. I haven't seen the statements from other witnesses.
They're not really officers. They're given 3 months of training and a gun. They're cake-eating Marlboro men. But they're also, it's also like that there's a whole rhetoric against these people, like they're Nazis. And then their bad behavior is then accepted and condoned by the people that are in support of them. Oh, it's okay. I saw what they did to you at that Hilton Hotel, so I hope that you light at least 7 of them on fire tonight. Like, it's that kind of rhetoric where it's like, No. Maybe you shouldn't be a redneck with a badge and a gun if you can't do it the right way. And also, I'd like to arrest the people destroying the Hilton Hotel. Like, can we just have actual police officers, not like buffoonery?
We'll let the investigation play out, and where it lands, it lands.
Just straight up buffoonery. Just complete unchecked power by police officers, but then at the same time, just no skill set to avoid conflict. Like, it's crazy.
Just like they were in Minnesota. Several officers.
Since George Floyd, we haven't been able to figure out a lick of a response to this.
Evidence showed some things were done improper. And I think Secretary Muller is going to do the right thing. If officers acted inappropriately, they'll be handled. But let's wait for the investigation to come out. And when you get back to body cameras, I'm full support of body cameras. I'd like to get them out as quick as possible.
I don't know that they're trying to get people to shoot back and that they want the chaos. Because again, if they wanted the chaos, there'd be more than 50. There would be more than 50 shootings. There's less than 50 shootings in a year and a half of a nationwide operation. There are only 5 deaths. Okay, 5 fatalities. That there dismisses the rhetoric that they're doing this on purpose to cause chaos. But are these a bunch of little bitch white men that are holding guns that have never held a gun before in their life and get really, really scared, and then they pull the gun out and then they shoot somebody because they'd rather that they shoot somebody than they get shot? Yes, probably. Does anyone know where I can find a non-Jewish lawyer? Black Sun. I'm sorry, my guy.
An officer's innocent. Like
I don't think they exist.
If you look at the stats, so they actually help ICE in their operations.
Will this change on vehicle stops lower the rate of deportation during the pause?
No. Body cams and no masks would be a good start. Facts, right?
I'm sick and tired of reading about how the administration's lost their guts with, mass deportations. And do you know June last month, ICE arrested more aliens than any month in the history of the agency.
Did you hear that, guys? Talk about media rhetoric being wrong. He just said they arrested more people in ICE last month than they've ever arrested in the department's history. The most people were arrested last month.
So, people say ICE is not serious about their job.
That's crazy. Because the reporter just asked the question, why are you guys letting up? His response was, actually, we arrested more people than ever. Come with your fucking homework, guys. My God.
Last month, the most aliens arrested in the history of the agency, more than last year. More than when you had the FBI, ATF, DEA, Border Patrol, ICE all out there. ICE by themselves, with their 287G partners, had the most arrests in history of the agency. Now, were numbers down for a few months? Yeah. Why? Because the department was shut down, right? Agents weren't getting overtime paid. They weren't getting travel. I mean, the travel cards were maxed out, so they couldn't travel to operations. The targeting wasn't being funded like it should have been. So the department was shut down, so of course the numbers are shut down. And why did the Dems shut down the government? I'll tell you why, because I was in negotiations because of Minneapolis. They had concerns about things in Minneapolis. I'm not going to make a judgment call on everything happened in Minneapolis, but that's why they shut it down.
You're gonna have to hear it the whole court hearing anyway, because the judge and the prosecution are both Jewish.
Every question, everything they wanted ICE to change and Border Patrol to change, come back to operations in Minneapolis. So, bottom line is, once we got the funding...
Well, most arrests ever for ICE last month, guys, even though they acting like they're not doing anything. That's pretty crazy. Pretty wild.
Well, like ICE reports to the secretary. I talked to the secretary last night. I know he was going to talk to the ICE director and make that decision. So I'm sure both of them.
Whose decision then would it be to lift the pause?
The ICE director, of course, with coordination of his boss, who's the secretary.
And how temporary do you think it is?
I think it depends how quick they can do the review. I would think in a couple of weeks we'd be back up and running.
Have you guys checked out what happened in St. Augustine today? A man who was fleeing.
Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, get your vote on. Tell us in the chat who you're voting for. Get the algorithm boosted for our poll of the day. 25 minutes left right now, and I'm pretty sure Gavin Newsom coming away with it? No. JD Vance, 52%. Gavin Newsom, 48%. Loving my chat. Always divided. Y'all always divided. I'm never getting one side over the other.
That
Loving
illegal aliens in this country,
y'all hating
and
me
even
collectively.
those who are illegally in the country have a fear from ICE because Democrat lawmakers tell them to resist. Democrat lawmakers actually have Zoom calls and team meetings how to defy ICE.
Briefing now with House Democratic leaders, Caucus Chair Peter Aguilar.
With all the false reporting out there, you know,
the button, didn't they?
People say there's fear in the immigrant community. Well, there's most of the fear comes from the hateful rhetoric being passed by people up on the Hill and some media. You know, people think we raid elementary schools. People think we raid churches. People think we raid hospitals. Give me one example. Any of you, will we arrested anybody in the hospital? Or we arrested anybody in elementary school? Or we arrested anybody in church?
Facts.
The only people that violated the sanctity of the church.
And yet, the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal will continue to report stories as though you are doing such activities. It is crazy.
This was Don Lemon and his group. But when they keep putting these false stories out, it does put fear in them.
You know how he said immigrants, not criminals. Got it. Anyway, move the fuck on. Get the fuck out of my country. 1776. Fuck off. Fucking think I give a shit about an immigrant versus a criminal? I don't. I want everyone that's here illegally. And again, they are criminals because they're here illegally.
And I'll say it again, if you're in the country illegally, you should be concerned.
Fucking right there, bro. You should be concerned. Get the fuck out of here.
And, you know, and look at the data, the recent data, over 60% of everybody ICE arrested is a criminal. Means they got a criminal conviction or pending criminal charges. The other 40% are not criminal. I like that mix. And that goes to show people that you're only going for the worst of the worst. You're only going for the worst. No, the data shows 40% are not
legal immigrants either.
I like that mix. Facts. I think 60% criminal is better than 40% criminal because they're the biggest danger to our neighborhoods. So I think...
Wait, so last year it was 40% criminals that were deported. Now it's 60% criminal that were deported with criminal record. Criminal record, guys. Remember that. Because, again, they're all criminals. They're here illegally. But still, there are more people with criminal records being arrested right now, and yet we have the rhetoric being ramped up that they're doing more damage right now than they were. Like, they're fixing the problem. They truly are. The problem that people are critiquing, that they're getting rid of the illegals in the farm fields and not the illegals raping your daughters, they're getting more of the raping the daughters ones. So can we all start to get a little bit more happy?
What do we know so far? For instance, there's reporting that this man was not the target.
I'm the definition of an incel. Welcome, Lake Dog.
I've seen.
You should get a shirt.
I haven't seen
the definition of an incel.
Again, I'll wait for investigation to come out and see what the report says, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. I read he's a U.S. citizen, and he's not. So, you know,
I read that he's a U.S. citizen. He's not. Exactly. That's the problem. Why is that reporting happening? Why is it allowed? Why did they do it? They know he's not a citizen.
The Maine shooting
they did it anyway.
Actually being co-led by the Maine's Attorney General, along with IG. So there's going to be clear transparency there. We'll see where the investigation leads.
Just more information about this Colombian guy. Like
what?
More information about this Colombian guy that was killed yesterday, a few days ago in Maine. You know, more details about who
I don't have the details on that. No, I don't.
Being that the war with Iran is back on, are you concerned about Iranian operatives or missiles in the United States?
Yes, I've always been concerned because under Joe Biden, millions of people were released in the country without proper vetting. 2.1 million illegal entries, known gotaways. 2.1 million people across the board that we're aware of because they're captured on drone video, sensor or camera, that they weren't apprehended, they weren't vetted, they weren't interviewed, they weren't fingerprinted. So you got to wonder, why did 2.1 million
unsubscribe? I love that you watched this long before you realized I'm stupid.
And people pay more to the cartels to get
You actually subscribed and then unsubscribed? That makes you the idiot. I already knew I was an idiot.
Get flown to the city of your choice, get a free hotel room, get 3 squares a day, then after 6 months get work authorization, which is the real reason they're coming. They're not for political asylum reasons.
Exactly. They're not coming here for asylum. They're coming here for work visas. And the only way to get the work visa is to sit over here permanently. And then you automatically get one. I would do the same fucking thing. Why in the fuck would you sit in your home country and go, oh, gee golly, hope I can make it to America one day? Or you can just fucking go on vacation with any passport and then sit here illegally and wait to be able to get a work visa.
So why did 2.1 million people pay more not to have that giveaway program?
Right.
Because they didn't want to be vetted. They didn't
Right.
want to be fingerprinted. They got
Right.
something high. So of course, I think what happened in 4 years of Biden administration is the biggest national security failure this country's ever seen.
Do you think
I gotta go.
Repeats immigration.
Briefing now with House Democrat.
All right, so that's that. Let's get into it now. We got a fireside chat with Mr. Gavin Newsom. Mr. Gavin Newsom here with his fireside chat. Fireside chat with Mr. Gavin Newsom.
All right.
Buenas tardes, Naleo.
Shut the fuck up,
It is
lady.
wonderful to
Oh my God, I already hate you. Shut up. Shut up. I know you're in California, but shut up.
be together. We have a packed room. I know
Speaking
you're
in
all
Spanish first, on purpose. Outrageous.
eagerly awaiting for the next portion of our program, but we are so privileged, so happy
Oh, yeah, you
to
are.
be able
You're
to
very
have
privileged
a
today to get this.
conversation. No, we're here. We're starting. We're going to have a great conversation. First of all, thank you both for being here.
Good to be
Senator,
here.
welcome
Newsom?
home. Governor,
Thanks.
welcome to the Naleo House Party.
The house
We're
party.
happy to
I
have
like
you.
that.
Yes.
I like that. That's good to
You
be
know,
with you.
we have been hearing some really important things. Senator, thank you for your very important, passionate words and your message. Both of you have been champions and very strong advocates for working families and working people. You've shared your stories. Senator, your parents.
Doesn't he look like it? As he fixes his watch and his cufflinks and his fucking like $30,000 suit. Doesn't he look like he's helping working families?
Your father, a shorter cook. Senator, Governor, your
Great conversation, yeah,
your
right.
mother who would bring in borders to help pay for the rent. Tell us.
Got a
about
bump of
why
viewership the second we
and
turn
how
the news come on.
Those experiences that you had with your families, with your parents, shaped the type of leaders that you are today.
Well, I'd love you to start because you just triggered something. I remember I had the privilege of being on a Zoom with the senator.
He's so fake. Exactly. He's so fucking fake. The first thing he says to you is like, I had a very privileged conversation via Zoom with the senator. Shut the fuck up. Privileged conversation. Shut the fuck up.
He wasn't senator
Everything
at the
about
time.
you is
And,
vampire.
I knew something he
Vampire,
did. He thought he was getting an
Epstein,
interview.
eating babies
I already had
overlord.
made a decision.
Here he is.
About the
I don't care
senator.
what you say. Newsom definitely eats
And
babies.
We just started just talking. And,
just chatting.
and
Just
then
chatting
both of
about
us
eating babies.
Found ourselves tearing up, talking about our parent.
Tell me this man doesn't eat babies. If you tell me this man doesn't eat babies, you can leave the chat because you don't understand reality. There's no way this man does not eat babies.
Particularly you talking about your father and your journey. And
There's no way.
if
Look
there
at
was
him.
any hesitation, there wasn't.
Look at those teeth. Those teeth are baby-eating teeth. He has gnawed off a few umbilical cords. You know it. This man spends his weekends at the hospital, eating the yum-yum, eating that placenta. You know it. You know it. There ain't no way it's not true.
That was the imprint, the why, and what
You don't get that face unless you sucked a few
separates
infants.
The character.
And by sucked, I
quality
didn't mean sexually. I meant
of
like you
the
literally
individual
sucked the blood out
from
of them.
the politician.
Jerky for Gavin.
And
Jerky for Gavin. Gavin the one producing the jerky for everybody, okay? You know how they're like, who's the jerky salesman? Who's selling all this jerky to Epstein? This man. This man is the jerky salesman.
saying this, I'm in the right audience.
Now remember, guys, every time the Gavin Newsom throws his hands up in the air, California loses $1 million.
Someone so connected to this larger cause, but no one with the kind of character of this.
Million here, million there, million gone, another million there.
Of appointing. And that character.
Realistically,
will
probably
shape that
Vance.
imprint, from
No,
your parent.
Vance funding the program. But who is actually doing the dirty work here? Who's doing the dirty work of getting the vials of the baby jerky together? This man. This man is sitting at the operation yelling at the Hispanic ladies, "You get that baby fucking blood in a vial. We have customers to sell to." That's this man's job. JD Vance might be lobbying with Palantir to like get all the baby oil to everybody. But the man producing the baby oils, this man.
That's in your remarkable personal journey.
Easy come, easy goes. Republicans think they're funny is the biggest joke. Word.
I think that the two things that come to mind on your question, Erica, are number one, my parents, my dad was a short order cook, my mom used to clean houses, very honest.
I don't care about you. I don't want to care about Newsom.
Have the next work that it took to try out where the constant.
Guys, they're having a fireside chat, and the whole program is only 21 minutes long. They're both going to chat for like 5 minutes. This isn't even a conversation. This is both of them just like doing a 5-minute speech and then leaving. Fireside, where's the fucking fire? Gavin Newsom hasn't been anywhere near a fire in years. And there's fires all around him.
Right now, there's a lot of attention.
19.
All
right, come on.
It's just hard. Access to health care, college admissions, there's all the things that we thought were basic.
Gavin wants Newsom, but now knows nothing.
Yeah, I think about, I had the privilege of a remarkable
Put
young
that
woman,
on a fucking
19,
t-shirt.
she's pregnant, 21, 2, separated, single mom at 23, raising 2 kids, came from
trying
nothing.
to act like he cares.
Her father committed suicide in a pretty raw way. He was a prisoner of war, corregidor for almost 4+ years. During World War II, came back a different guy. And
you didn't explain what we wanted you to explain. We wanted you to be the leveraged crazy person that goes, yeah, he came in and he blew his fucking head off with a shotgun in my backyard. That's what we wanted to hear. Not this roundabout, walked around, policed answer about how this guy killed himself in a bad way.
So that shaped her
Give us
life.
the juice!
And, of course, by definition, she shaped my life. I watched her, just the grit, the hard work, never complaining, never explaining away things, just her example. Single moms. The bedrock. I mean, hats off to all the single moms out there.
Bro, you were creepy as fuck. I have a single mother. She's creeped up on this. This is crazy. He's like, thank you, single mothers. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to harvest your baby's organs and sell them to the highest JD Vance bidder.
Every single day. And
the RNC are the most unreliable
what a
people.
gift.
The
What an
RNC or
example.
the DNC, my guy? I mean, I feel like the DNC is way less reliable. They don't even allow you to vote. RNC allows for an open primary at least.
But
might get
I
wild.
also
You
saw
might get
the
a Donald
human
Trump, but that's
toll of that.
It's part of it.
The human struggle, the stress.
We got a third-party
that so many
candidate.
folks
It's locked
are
in,
going
guys.
through. And, I remember her talking about 52 paychecks don't work anymore. It's 104. And how it was just getting by, not getting ahead. And I think that goes to the foundation, the story that the senator is talking about, the story that is our lives today, that the old bargain is dead. The new one's waiting to be rewritten.
What are we
I say it all the time. I believe it as someone who's been deeply involved in the fight for democracy, for our republic, and the fight that brought
RNC just
us
lazy?
to
Facts.
redistricting.
RNC's like, whoever you guys want, we don't fucking care. And to that, I'm like, all right, that's American. DNC is like, oh no, they're going to vote for this one. Hurry, quick. Create a bunch of stories to cancel him and make him go away.
And the fight here with Proposition 50.
Oh, we can't do that? All right, let's orchestrate a female candidate or a fucking male candidate that's completely built and bought for by the pharmaceutical industry to come in and steal the election.
That
E.
we
Jean
cannot
Carroll, 2028?
save
At
our
this point,
democracy
guys.
unless we
I mean, she got that $5 million. She got that $5 million today.
democratize our
She's still waiting
economy.
on the 86.
It is
If E. Jean get that 86 million, you think she running for president?
foundational. The struggles of working
Might be a good
families,
gamble.
not just working moms. What's happening
least get
in this country?
at least get a good book
the
out of it,
old
right?
bargain is dead, and AI is going to finish it off.
What?
And we need to wake up to that foundational reality.
Wait, the bargaining of... Okay, so he's basically saying that no one's allowed to negotiate a rate and that you don't ever negotiate rates of pay for anything. You just pay whatever you are told to pay, and that AI is going to make that worse. Yeah, it's going to make that worse for a bunch of idiots.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. The data tell us that for the first time, people feel like the generation coming after them may not be better off, may not have their piece of the American dream. Can you both share some thoughts with us, room full of public policymakers, and tell us about the role you think public policy leaders can do to help shape the next version of the American dream that people, I think, still aspire to, certainly in our community?
Oh, of course.
10% of people own.
Yeah, dude, we're here for you. Just fucking talk.
Two-thirds of the wealth in this nation. That same 10% own 93% of the stock market.
I'm only here for the Mexican senator.
30-year-old today is doing worse than his or her parents for the first time in U.S. history. If that's not a 5-alarm fire, I don't know what the hell is.
Okay, but what are you going to do
sitting
about
there,
it? I love how they list issues, but they
celebrating
don't
the
actually
best
fix
of
issues.
Roman Republic, Greek democracy on July 4th. You know, the vision of our founding fathers, co-equal branches of government, co-equal branches of government, popular.
Yeah, exactly. Meaning that the legislator isn't allowed to be oligarchs like they set themselves up to be in 1951 by saying that we can't have a president for more than 2 terms, but that they will never have term limits. Yeah, equal. Remember? Equal. That's what we need to do here, people. Remove all incumbents in November, equalize the branches again.
Sovereignty.
This guy's trying to act like they're already equal and that Donald Trump is making them unequal.
Thinking about the Greeks, there was a guy
nuts.
around 50 A.D.,
The legislators
2,000 years ago, warning the Athenians, Plutarch, he said the imbalance between the rich and the poor.
Right, and there's an imbalance between us and the oligarchs in the legislature. It's not an imbalance between us and Donald Trump. It's an imbalance between us and the oligarchs in the legislature.
Is the oldest and most fatal ailment of all republics. Think about that. 2,000 years ago, there was warning the Athenians that the imbalance between the rich and the poor. And fast forward today, the first trillionaire is minted. At the same time, we have 20 states still paying $7.
I don't think that there's a single person that would disagree with that. That's kind of weird. Like, how does he keep almost winning?
Fundamentally broken here.
He's just a
and
dumbass.
That wealth is creating power locking in rules and regulations, locking everybody else out. You can't play in the margins anymore. We can't fail.
Enter Donald Trump, convicted rapist, sexual predator, Epstein's best friend for 15 years, convicted, 34 felony count. You just rattle off whatever the fucking institution tells you to, don't you?
More efficiently. Certainly nostalgia is not working.
I have all of these phrases in my head. He was his best friend for 15 years. There was no one else that was his friend. He was his best friend for 15 years. Nobody else was his friend. There was no other babies being eaten. The only babies being eaten were by Donald Trump. Donald Trump was his best friend for 15 years. Donald Trump was his best friend for 15 years. Not the entire DNC institution. No. The DNC institution isn't completely orchestrated by Maxwell herself and the Hillary Clinton Foundation. No. Clintons and the fucking Maxwells have nothing to do with each other. No. Donald Trump is best friends with Epstein, and Donald Trump doesn't talk to Bill Clinton on a weekly basis on the cell phone. Okay.
But capitalism as we know it doesn't work either. And so when we talk about rewriting, or at least renegotiating, this social contract and rewriting it,
that he would easily
as
win
authors,
because he's a good governor,
not consumers.
Bro, what world are you living in?
We have to fundamentally
really
understand that it's broken.
Wow, guys.
And we cannot play in the margins any longer. And we can talk about those prescriptions. That's perhaps another conversation. But I think foundationally,
water, guys. I'll be back one
folks
second.
now get it. We can no longer argue again to fail more efficiently. It's time for order of magnitude change in terms of how we approach the American dream, how we approach here in California, the California dream.
See, it's not a chat. It's not a fireside chat.
So before we took the stage, I was sharing with the governor a little bit my experience from my time on the board, my time as president, and part of NALEO's strength, what makes it unique, and what I love about NALEO, right? It's not just federal officials and issues. It's not just state officials and issues. It's not just local officials and issues. It's everything. And by the way, it's not Democrat or Republican. It's nonpartisan. It's us coming together. And I lay that out because you ask about policy at the same time. May have ideas and administration can't ship around.
What's happening to our democracy? It's a corruption story, the Trump administration. I think Senator's being generous here. I mean, it's not the rule of law.
5 minutes
anymore.
till hour 3. We get our first third-party candidate.
What's going on in this country?
Throw your third-party predictions out
speech?
in the comments. Who do you think it's going to be?
What happened in Fulton County? What's happening all across the United States? What happened here? 10 minutes from where we are as we speak at the Democracy Center in Little Tokyo, here in the state of California, just last year, not that many months ago. We had 1,000 community leaders, faith-based leaders, folks from every political stripe coming together because they wanted to fight fire with fire and save and preserve our democracy. Folks couldn't get into the event because there were masked men that were standing outside. The guy looked like he came off the...
Do we believe this bullshit? What fucking world? Like, he's not even... You're from Hollywood and you're not even good at selling stories, my guy. Nobody's believing your pitch.
Burbank lot in a 1930s movie, dressed up accordingly by the name of Bovino. Greg Bovino was there. No ID. No one recognizing what agency they work for. We said
at least he's not a hypocrite, liar, conspiracyist. All right, guys. Can somebody explain to Dan how Gavin Newsom is literally American Psycho? Because I'm too exhausted to do this anymore.
It was a preview of things to come. Just as we said, after 4,000 of our National Guard were federalized, 700 active duty Marines were not sent overseas.
God damn, y'all.
They were sent right here in L.A., the second largest
Gavin Newsom's
city
going to be president because
States
people
of
like
America.
this.
I will never forget, on Election Day last year, on Election Day, the BORTAC teams, these are the Border Patrol Tactical Units, the Apache helicopters, these guys all dressed up.
Remember, every time he moves his hands, California
into a
loses $1
military
million.
operation. They were staged before the polls
definitely known for his
opened right in front of
fire
Dodger
with fire.
Stadium. In order to send a message to our diverse
I won't
communities,
waste my time.
you may not
It's
want to
almost over.
show up
It's
and
almost over.
elect
Don't even,
and vote.
don't even do it.
These guys are not
don't even worry about
screwing
it. I'm
around.
good.
Donald Trump is not screwing around. He does not believe in fair and free elections. We will lose our...
Why do we keep doing this? Kamala Harris stood up in front of the Abraham Lincoln Monument as the sitting vice president of the United States and called him a Nazi the night before the election, and she lost. Why are you trying to do it again? You're not going to win this way. You don't win by calling your opponent a Nazi.
Country, if we do not take back the House of Representatives.
Shut the
no more
fuck up.
important race in our lifetime than getting Speaker Jeffries that gavel this November. None, in my perspective.
Right, because if Speaker Jeffries gets that gavel, what are they going to do? They're going to build a bunch of progressive bills that will go to the Senate and immediately be eliminated, and then they can lobby in 2028 and say, look at all the things we would have done if we only had the Senate. The reality is, like, we are never going to be going back because of censorship. We are never going to be going back to a world where the Democrats own all three parties. So I just don't... What would the point in that be? So that they can put a bunch of bills up there that they're not going to pass? Awesome.
When you were Secretary of State, you did an extraordinary job expanding access to the ballot box and
Trump
making
2028.
elections and democracy in California stronger.
One
Can
minute
you
left, guys.
share with this room full of elected officials, and I know that we have several dozen election administrators from small local communities, what is the work before us in strengthening democracy? How are local officials the front line to rebuilding trust between communities?
Needs to be in
and their
prison because of
government?
election
No,
fraud.
I appreciate the question. And by the way, you don't just have to be an elections administrator to
And
be
such
in
a
this
bang-up
business.
job in California,
Because whether
too.
you're a
Facts,
county
right?
official, you have a say over how elections are run in your jurisdiction. If you're a state legislator, mentally you shows to vote and they would...
California. Donald Trump, the morning of the election, after he sent out the BORTAC teams, also sent out on Truth Social, said the election was rigged.
Actually, he has a
Before
vagina.
the polls
Facts.
were open, the election was rigged.
Gavin
Not only
is a
did he
racial.
do that, he sent out the week prior the Department of Justice to do the monitoring to assess and prove the theory.
Boom, and just like that, Mr. Gavin Newsom loses one, but our show is not over. We're going to hour 3, people. Hour 3 of the show tonight. Ooh, boy. Here we go. And who's going to be that third-party candidate? Here it is, guys. Who will be president in 2028? 847 days until election. We've got Mr. J.D. Vance, and he's got 47 wins. We've got Gavin Newsom, and he's got 18 wins. And our third-party candidate tonight is Donald Trump Jr. Oh, my God. Can Donald Trump Jr. pull off what Snoop Dogg, Matthew McConaughey, and Mr. Beast could not. What Kamala Harris could not. The third hour of our show starts now, people. All right, let's get back to the fireside chat with Mr. Psychopath Gavin Newsom.
And filed lawsuits hoping to get to the Supreme Court saying he had proof
when he
that the
mentions
election
dyslexia, that was a
rigged.
wild one, right?
Of course, this was all after trying to purge our voting rolls. Had we not sued, that would have happened. This guy is not screwing around. That's the playbook on the other side. What's Thursday night's primetime speech all about? It's part of the playbook.
No, it's not. No. See, he already knows. He already knows that there's an illegal corruption scandal about to be announced on Thursday. It's already been leaked. They're going to, on Thursday, he's going to do this primetime speech and everybody's freaking out. And he already knows, I already know, we all already know what this is about, which is the fact that Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, who was in our poll earlier today, did not actually become senators. There was massive corruption in Georgia, and the FBI has found evidence of that. And you want to know what? If they have the evidence, let them show it. But this weird speculation before the announcement's even made just kind of makes the party look even more fucking guilty.
Cast doubt, anxiety.
Cast doubt? You're casting doubt. He hasn't said shit yet.
That will occur.
He's defending something that hasn't even been released yet.
In and around next year's elections. We will see masked men in and around those elections. We'll see the intimidation of the voting strategies. We've seen it on vote by mail, suggesting somehow voting by mail, as the senator rightfully suggests, somehow that is corruption in plain sight. He believes in one thing, competitive authoritarianism. He wants the pretense of an election, just like Putin does as well.
Oh, God, dude. What? You're trying to stop votes from people. You're trying to remove ID. Your arguments against him don't make any sense. And now you're trying to defend two senators' illegal elections before he even shows you the proof that they illegally fucking got elected? Like, talk about being defensive over something that you're clearly guilty of.
7.3%.
Fishback isn't going to win, don't worry. Byron Donalds has a good foothold of undisclosed voters.
4%.
Those undisclosed Jewish voters.
That's the Republic.
Right-wing crap, the reason why the U.S. isn't fucking stupid.
Is trying to advance.
Has you seen the disapproval rating of Trump?
And so
the disapproval rating? They don't do those. They do approval ratings, but
want to just express gratitude in the spirit of your recognition of those local elected officials. You are on the front lines of these battles.
I don't really pay attention to
as important as senators and governors and mayors
they only
and the
poll
rest
people
are.
65 plus.
Perhaps nothing more important than the integrity of our Secretary of State and our county election officials. And so I just want to express gratitude, respect, and appreciation, because I know what you're up against. And I know how foundational that is to the fate and future of not just our democracy, but again...
Sorry to sidetrack, but have you seen Katie Porter yell at and cuss at her help? LOL, that was top eek. It's against the law to point out corruption in California.
Spirit that defines this organization
vote on
and the
CNN
work
a
you
few
do
months
every
ago.
single day.
Now that I believe.
Mention one more thing, I think for your political consideration, yes. Because as there are certain concerns.
And your thoughts on behalf of NALEO and the NALEO Educational Fund Board.
Thank you.
We're grateful.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being out here in California,
Yes.
by the way.
One last item, point of personal privilege. Challenge for mere reason. We're trying to decide not just within, that tells a very...
Thank you, gentlemen. Please join me in thanking our guests.
Okay. Fireside chat with no fire that lasted 10 minutes. Okay, guys. All right, Mike Johnson up next. Here we go. What do we got from you? Seen as biased reporting? Facts.
Republicans briefed reporters today. House Speaker Mike Johnson equated Democrats to communists, saying the barbarians are inside the gate, quote unquote.
Oh, God.
Here's a look at his comments.
I hate this fucking lady. I want to choke her out. I want to choke her out until she passes out. Like, Not in real life, but I'm just like, I'm so sick of her fucking whiny, nasally bullshit voice trying to act like she's fucking pretty. Smack her in the goddamn face.
Everybody.
This is the kind of woman that when she gets robbed on the street, you're like, good! Because she's just fucking annoying.
And I want to take a moment to honor the life and
Say that all as a
legacy
fucking joke,
of Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator Graham was a stalwart defender of conservative values, a staunch ally of President Trump,
CNN labels black people
and a
as dark
devoted
white.
public servant. And he spent decades
Communism
fighting
Network.
for the country.
All right,
that
we're gonna
he
skip her
fled
because she's just
to
talking about
try.
fucking
It's
bullshit.
destroyed.
Anyway.
He used. This is.
Give me Mike Pence or
Castro,
give me death. That's all I want.
was talking
Give me Mike Pence or
Mercedes.
give me death.
1950s. They're evil. Anniversary hell that car here in America over 4,000. You see some change everything into
Like Carlos does.
freedom and democracy.
Normal. Leader, thank you, Carlos Jimenez, for sharing your incredible life story. Thank you to Chairwoman McLean. We're a little more animated these days than normal. I brought a little fire to our House Republican Conference meeting this morning because I feel like Carlos does. I believe everything is at stake right now. This isn't campaign rhetoric. It's not hyperbole. You see what's happening around America. I am often reminded these days of the writings of the founders, the warnings of the people who put together the principles that made us the greatest nation in the history of the world. They warned us against times like this. In more recent times when we were kids, in the 80s, Ronald Reagan used to remind us all the time. You hear me repeat it. You have to understand freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It is not passed along in the budget.
Right, but when you leverage it to win your own elections, when in reality that's not what's going on. Like we're not toppling capitalism. Like the infrastructures of capitalism exist regardless of the voting pattern, even if we vote in communists. The reason that you're losing to communists is because you guys haven't done anything. You went on fucking vacation.
Reagan said it must be fought
Anyone
for.
else in the midterms end in R220 House, R53 Senate?
Must be protected. It has to be taught, passed along to the next generation, so that they too will understand these principles that hold us together.
I think we gotta think
I'm
higher
somewhat
than
of
that,
a
guys.
historian.
We
I'm
gotta
a
get rid of all
constitutional
these people.
attorney. I know many of you we're all amateur historians here. You must be if you work on Capitol Hill. You watch and follow these developments. There's a small number of times in the history of America
because you're basically saying if you don't vote for the
the
Republicans,
actual
you're voting
experiment
for
in self-governance
communism.
was on the ballot. The idea that we would preserve a constitutional republic.
Quit being so
one nation
fucking
under God, a
lazy.
government
Why don't
of,
you
by, and
go
for
to the
people.
bat and
All
actually
that is
help
in
us with
question
something,
right now.
and we wouldn't have to do this.
For the first time, really, in my lifetime, this is a real question the American people have to decide in November, in a midterm election for Congress and Senate. It's not something that we would have projected. I hoped and prayed it would never come to this, but here we are. The barbarians are in the gate. Last night I did a little, had a big group actually of VIPs that took a little on a tour. I don't get to do that very often anymore, but took a tour of the Capitol.
Bullshit.
We wound up
Facts,
on
right?
the House floor.
All it is people panicking that they're losing their fucking jobs, and they deserve to lose their fucking jobs. You didn't do anything. You went on vacation. You went on vacation, sir. So now you and every last one of your people, all 520, red, blue, and in between, fucking go. Because I pay your fucking bills. And I'm not going to pay your bills anymore. You fucking grifting idiot gnome.
And I pointed to them, as you may have heard me reference this often. I think of it a lot. Why did Congress put "In God We Trust" above the rostrum
Trump
of
is
the
a goat.
Speaker's
Bro got reelected.
podium
Facts.
there in the center of the House? It's inscribed in the marble, as you know. You can't miss it when you walk in the chamber. It's the first thing people notice when they walk in at eye level and see it there. And I pointed out that in the visitor's guide to the House, it explains that. It says it was put there in 1962, and it says in the visitor's guide, it's been published for many
Democrats
years.
can't win.
It said Congress voted to place that there as a rebuke.
They can't win because if they win, then communism will take over America. I know the infrastructure of our entire economy is completely different than that, but if the Democrats win the House of Representatives and can't do anything because they're not president and they don't have control of the Senate, it will be the start of communism in America. Shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking tree gnome.
To the Soviets
Oh
because
my
of their
God.
philosophy.
Go watch
during the
another
Cold War.
UFC event, you retard.
philosophy of the Soviets. It's what Carlos just outlined, same philosophy of Cuba. The brutal dictatorship there that robbed him of his childhood, and so many countless others. They've lost their lives trying to flee from
this
that brutal
country
dictatorship.
burning down into flames.
The
Facts.
philosophy of
and both sides are just continuing to grift as the fucking flames get bigger. They're like, well, if the Democrats would have done this to the pedophiles, if Donald Trump wouldn't have been president, if he wasn't friends with Epstein, then we wouldn't have had that tornado. What the fuck are we doing, guys?
Soviets during the Cold War was Marxism. Communism.
Will we do what Rome did, rot from within? I think we currently
when
are.
Congress voted in 1962 to put that,
that's why I'm begging people to vote the fucking incumbents out.
50s when
Restart season 2, all new cast of characters. Please give it to me.
The cast.
Can you imagine if we got an all new cast of characters in the midterms, regardless of party, and everybody had to wake up and realize that they all lost because they all promised empty promises and bullshit and went on vacation? And Donald Trump was still president. The populist president of the United States. Mondani was still mayor of New York, the populist mayor of New York. And every last one of these fucking shitty fucking oligarchs gets fucked in the asshole in November. God, that is my all-time fantasy. All-time fantasy. Populist president, populist mayor, and every last oligarch out. My God, can you imagine? Can you imagine
and destroyed
the freedom?
It was a completely foreseeable result. We were fighting it during the Cold War on distant shores in the USSR. And Congress was resolute on that. They were all united
Johnson
and they
is a disgrace to
understood
his
that that's
country.
not who we are as Americans. The reason we are the greatest nation in the history of the world, the most free, most successful, most powerful, most benevolent. You hear
I
me say
truly
all the
believe
time.
it.
The reason that we are the greatest
I
nation.
don't know what the media would do, because it would just be like Mondani Donald Trump heaven for all of us. We would have people in the Senate and in the House of Representatives voting and helping Donald Trump and Mondani's populist movements for American citizens actually build laws and infrastructure that mattered, because none of these people would be in charge anymore. God, can you fucking imagine? Like, the media would have a conniption fit. They would start saying that all of the... Oh, wait, I just ended the poll somehow? Oops. I didn't mean to do that, guys. I didn't mean to do that! Oh, shit. Well, I guess we'll go... Well, we were at... What are we at? 9%? That seems fair. It was Donnie Trump Jr. All right. Let's go for another one. We'll go for another one, guys. I accidentally hit that one. Fake election for Donald Trump Jr., as it always is, right? That was so unfair, but he gets a 9%. You know, Snoop Dogg got 25 because he got a really easy one, too. So 9% for him. And who's the next candidate here, guys, that we got for hour 4? Let's do Josh Shapiro next, all right? So here we go. Next poll up. Who will be president in 2028? 847 days until election. And we got who is leading there? Yep, JD Vance is still leading. JD Vance got 47 wins. We got Mr. Gavin Newsom with 18 wins. And we got Josh Shapiro. All right, let's try that one out, guys. Let's get back into it. House of Representatives, Mr. Mike Johnson, the tree gnome himself.
Are built on an entirely different and opposing set of values. Congress put In God We Trust above the rostrum because...
Finally, a recommendation that agrees with my political views against the scumbags running our country. Facts, my guy.
They wanted to remind everybody, whoever served in this body
I don't know,
Congress,
man. Like, that's the thing. You got the polarization of these people.
Huge
people are very polarized
between
right now,
us
but I feel like
and the Soviets
the Senate is clearly the problem.
Marxism, socialism,
like these people that are up here grifting while they can actually keep their seat for the rest of their lives are the problem. Whether they're blue, red, green, orange, purple, it doesn't fucking matter. They have a lifetime position, and all they have to do is continually grift and say, "Oh, well, it's actually somebody else's fault," and we never hold them responsible.
All this begins with the premise that there is no God. It's a totally different philosophy. In our declaration that we just celebrated, 250 years on July 4th, the nation's creed, as you hear me talk about all the time, the second paragraph, we hold these truths to be self-evident and all men are created equal. Our rights come
Like,
from our
respectfully,
Creator
why
God.
don't
They
all
do
the
not
parties
come
just
from the
make
government.
one big party, like
The
all parties are
communists
being pain in the
believe the
ass?
opposite.
Facts.
They believe that the government is, the state is God. The state is the one that gives you all your rights. And you know what? The state can also take those rights away. And that's exactly what happens. It's inevitable. Communism and this philosophy has led to the murder of tens of millions of innocent people in the 20th century alone. It is a nightmare. It is a trail to certain death, okay? And that's why we're speaking in such stark terms, because we need America to wake up. We're not even, look, 35 years ago, Republicans and Democrats in Congress, when I was coming up in, the Reagan years, they were fighting communism on a distant shore. Now it's here. But in Congress, they all agreed on that. They obviously knew that we had to fight communism. And so what they were doing here for domestic policy, that was foreign policy. Domestic policy, they were arguing over, marginal tax rates and the shades of regulation and how large the government.
But now the foreigners are coming in and they're taking our jobs, and now they're taking our politics too. Ah!
There wasn't a huge
The commies! The commies! Protect us from the commies! I believe in God! Vote me forever! Let me keep a lifetime position and keep taking your money. I believe in God. They don't believe in God. I know they've never been a senator.
Domestically, we are arguing, we are debating, we are fighting. The election
guys.
will be over.
You're arguing for your fucking job for forever, and you don't get it.
Republic, the greatest
Take your $100K and go home.
The longest surviving constitution on the planet. The nation that everybody wants to emulate.
I'd rather watch My Little
and everybody
Pony
wants
than
to
Mike
come
Johnson.
here. We have to seal our borders so they won't flood over them. We're the only nation in the world that has that distinction. We're the last great superpower. We are the greatest nation in the history of the world. We are fighting right now in Congress over whether we're going to maintain our status as a constitutional republic, or we're going to trade that in, dismantle the foundations, and go down this dark road of death to communism. That is the question on the ballot this fall. Now, DSA published their platform. I hope you're all covering. I hope you're writing in depth about their platform. I read it out at an event a few weeks ago, and they made an ad mocking me reading their platform. Now, they didn't put the clips with the worst parts of it. Representative Jimenez just told you, Carlos told you that, well, of course they want to pack the Supreme Court, and they want a unicameral legislature. They want the House to run everything, abolish the Senate, because they believe the House would be run by Marxists, communists. They'll be able to run the table on everything. They want to remove the president. What they also want to do is abolish all borders. They don't want any borders. They want mass amnesty granted to anyone who can come onto our shores without exception, even for terrorists and hardened dangerous criminals. Okay? They don't want prisons. It's in their platform. They want to remove the carceral state, they said. No prisons. They don't want to fund the police. This is not a game. Everybody needs to understand. These crazy little mini Mamdanis who are popping up all around the country, they are
these little mini Mamdanis. Bro is scared he's losing his job. Look at that face. That's a face of somebody going, oh, fuck, there goes my $500,000 in UFC tickets a year.
They are a danger to you and your family. This is not a
You're
game.
a fucking danger because you're going to stick here and be an oligarch, you fucking loser. What have you done for Louisiana?
Even some of these people do not understand themselves. And so we are here as the Republican Party to stand on the founding principles of the greatest nation in the history of the world. It is our duty to do that. And we're doing it on behalf of all of you, even the journalists who don't agree.
Wow. The fuck? Bro, did they hack him? They hacked him and just made him chirp for a second there? That was the communist. The communist did that.
This is not a game. This is not our father's Democrat Party. This is not.
GOP
we're not
will lie
arguing
through
over
their
marginal
teeth.
tax rates.
So will the DNC.
We're arguing over whether or not freedom is going to
Don't
survive.
think it's one side, guys.
And
They're
that's why
both
we're so
lying.
serious about this.
They just need them their fucking
warrior,
jobs.
man. I like
So
to get out
please
and
vote
have
for
fun,
me in
but
November.
This is not a fun time.
Let me keep my
we're
job.
We're in a war. We're in a philosophical war to
Womp,
save
womp,
the
cry,
greatest nation in the
cry
history of the
harder.
world. And we take it very seriously. So we recruited
Don't know
extraordinary
who you are, but
candidates.
you're
We
an
are
idiot.
raising record
Yeah, okay. Michael, what's your politics? How smart are you?
money.
You're an
that is
idiot because
necessary
I
to
vote
win these elections.
for
And we
Republicans
understand
every
everything's
time
at stake.
because Fox News said
Ronald
so.
Reagan used to quote Abraham Lincoln, and he reminded us that America is the last best hope of man.
Michael,
as was
you
asked
are-
here very well, very articulately.
Slash
this
all
morning.
politicians is
If not here,
lie.
where?
Facts.
There is no answer to that question.
Facts,
This
Daniel,
is the
facts.
best. Not a perfect nation. We're still in a process of making a more perfect union. But we are working every day to ensure that the principles of individual freedom and limited government and the rule of law and peace through strength and fiscal responsibility and free markets and human dignity are maintained, because that
There's
is
the
the
squeaker of
formula
the house.
that makes a successful free.
Squeaker of the house. That's a good one. That's a good one. Squeaker of the house.
Happy people and a successful nation. I'll take a few questions. Yeah.
There's been a lot of discussion about what's going to be included in the resolution.
Guy whispered in his ear, remember, say communism in every sentence. Okay, I remember. It's about fear-mongering now, guys. Squeaker facts.
So the question was, can you list the specifics of what the request is for the Pentagon? We've seen it's over $350 billion as a request, and some of this is transformational kind of funding that will help us change the dynamic of the Department of War and make it more efficient and effective. It's already the greatest fighting force on the planet, not even close. But there are some ideas, a real vision on how to improve that even further, to bolster that. You've heard the president talk about how he wants to effectively double the funding for national defense. Look, we live in dangerous times. We're fighting communism on our own shores, and we're fighting evil terrorists and tyrants around the world. And we have to be able to protect our national security. So this is not the place to get into the details of that. We're having a briefing tonight at the Pentagon with House Republicans, where Secretary Hegseth and his team will go through and outline a lot of this. Much of that's going to be classified, of course. But I can tell you that our resolve is to ensure, if there's a list of responsibilities of the federal government, and it is a small list, the appropriate list of what the federal government is supposed to be, remembering in our match list system, under our constitutional system, most of the power is supposed to be reserved to the states and the people. But there's a few list of responsibilities that must be done by the federal government, and obviously national defense is one of them. It is the first priority to protect the people. By the way, in his State of the Union a few months back, the President asked that very important question of the body. Hey, stand and applaud if you think the #1 job of the federal government is to protect Americans.
He also said, hey, stand and think, and stand if you think that there should be term limits for the Senate. He also did that. He also said, stand if you think that we should not have insider trading in the Senate. He also stood for that. You guys haven't figured out either one of those issues. Now you're going to reference things that we stood for at the State of the Union? Like, this is... Are you delusionally retarded, or do you think that we actually are falling for this bullshit?
Citizens and not illegal aliens.
Most beta dude in the country, facts, bro.
Applause. Every Democrat sat scowling on their hands. That's everything you need to know.
Oh, okay. They sat on their hands. But meanwhile, you all stood up, both Democrat and Republican, saying that you would put term limits in and you wouldn't have insider trading. And you have done neither one of those things. The only thing you did this week was pass another bill for daylight savings time, guys. That's what they did today. That's what they did today. Passed a bill for daylight savings. Go look it up. That's what the House did today.
Picture's worth 1,000 words, a video's worth even more. Go replay that. We're going to take care of national defense. We're going to meet our first priorities. We're going to do it in the order that we can gather the votes for. Reconciliation 3.0 is in process. There will be a markup this week. I was on the phone with Chairman Harrington until late last night. We're working out the details of that. I'm expected to be noticed today for a markup on Thursday. And you will see the details of that, and I'm not going to unveil it here at a press conference this morning, because we're working through with members, as you know how this is done, to build consensus so we can lay that out. So stay tuned for more on reconciliation.
The ICE agents...
Of course, Mega are dumb and gullible enough to believe in the imaginary man in the sky.
Using body-worn cameras, and that's despite data...
And you're dumb and gullible enough to believe that there isn't an imaginary man in the sky. There you go. The end. You lose.
They want to expand body camera usage. Does there need to be accountability on DHS from Congress here?
I don't know anything about this event. Okay, I was a little busy yesterday, so I'm going to reserve judgment. I know that there was a tragic shooting, and I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know. And you guys can mock me for not knowing that. I worked about 22 hours in the last few days, and I did not get the briefing on that yet. I will this morning. Yes.
Thank you, Speaker. Do you commit to putting Lindsey Graham's Russia sanctions bill on the floor of the House?
We've long supported a
Relax,
Russia sanctions bill.
everything
the
is
vast
going to
majority
just
of
the way our God wants it to.
Republicans do.
Global,
and
uneducated,
I was
religious morons.
heartened to hear that apparently
All right.
Senate
Good luck,
Republicans
Diamond.
in the White House have
Good
come
luck
up with
in your
a
world
formula
of sin, Diamond. Good luck.
that they think will work, and we're happy to
Republicans
receive and
are a
process
lie,
that.
bunch of assholes.
I think it's appropriate. I've
So are
always
the
felt that way.
Democrats.
So, yeah.
Last question, guys. On Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, the president says that the MOU is dead.
No surprise, it's always the uneducated and gullible who fall for religion. It's always the uneducated and gullible that bash religion in the comment section of a mobile live stream on YouTube. Move along, Diamond. Move along.
60-day clock is just reset. Is it time to consider an AUMF vote? And when it comes to the toll that the U.S. is reportedly going to be charging, is that really proper? I mean, in the past, the administration has said there should not be a charge.
Being afraid of the imaginary myth? I'm not afraid of God.
That. We're still awaiting further details.
I think
on
you are,
the
because you
toll
keep trying to dismiss that he exists.
Yeah, I was with the president for about 3 hours yesterday. We talked about it very briefly because we had a lot of other things on the agenda. I think we're awaiting further details, and we'll determine that. With regard to the Strait of Hormuz, there is a memo of understanding, but Iran seems to have no interest whatsoever in maintaining any of those provisions. And when they are firing on commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, it's a danger to all freedom-loving people around the world and the economies of almost every nation on the planet. And so the response from America is appropriate. What do you do with these people? Listen,
two parties in America.
they're not good faith actors. They cannot be trusted. The people that are in these negotiation rooms, as the president said himself yesterday, they will say one thing and literally walk out the door and do the opposite. So it's a very sticky situation there. When you're trying to have a negotiation with someone who you know is lying to you to your face.
We're trying to cook the cookies in the Keebler elf fucking treehouse, and it's a really sticky situation because we have pedophiles everywhere, both left and right, and we're trying to pay them all off so that we can get the communism out by November. But it's really hard in the Keebler elf fucking treehouse right now. It's a sticky situation.
It's a challenge we have, and we trust the administration is going to continue to work to resolve this. We need to. We want to, of course. I'm heartened that gas prices have not risen again. We're about $70-something a barrel last time I checked. We need to keep that under control, and commerce in the Strait of Hormuz is important. There's at least, by my count, dozens of nations, scores of nations probably at this point, who are willing to assist. I think if asked to help release the Strait of Hormuz, so we'll see how that develops. I think it's a job
30-minute timeout.
I'm going to defer for closing comments to
you might get a full day.
Something on his heart, I think. Go ahead.
You're just being a prick for no reason.
Yeah, the speaker made mention of the fact that the Democratic Socialists are promising to defund.
And things will happen quickly. All right. Well, that was Mike Johnson. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got Linda McMahon.
Start investing
doing a report earlier today. Linda McMahon in the education department. What the fuck's this all about? They're basically trying to just destroy the education department because they don't think it actually exists. So Linda McMahon here, doing some fucking real WWE shit. Mike Johnson, which he was a real boy.
That's a local issue. The Department of Education just announced a 3% increase here in North Carolina. But I have to tell you, I read that's the first increase in 50 years for starting teacher salary. So I think we have to look, to the local
first time in
folks
50 years an increase in teacher salary in South Carolina.
We can get those salaries raised because that leads to teacher retention, and teacher retention certainly. Then I think you see direct correlation with raised scores.
Ms. McMahon, Ernest Strother with WNCT. Talk about what it meant to come back to New Bern today and speak to people here in the community, and one of your main goals in speaking today.
Well, it was totally fun to come back to my hometown. I think I was saying during the interview, I was born here, went to school here, married here. So it's really fun to be back in New Bern and to see, a lot of the great changes that are here. And, my goal as I am the Secretary of Education and as I travel around is to learn as much as I can and to see what local needs are so that we can help as we develop kind of best practices to leave behind 4 different states, that they will see what other states are doing. Governors are competitive. State superintendents, state secretaries of education are very competitive. So if one state is really doing well, how are they making their scores go up? What are they doing? What are they focusing on? And it's very helpful. I don't control that. Education can't come top down, distributed to the states.
Might
but
be
if we
all
can
of them, but
encourage
it
those
is a majority.
By
It's all of
actually
them.
what's happening.
I say it's all of them.
Then that's what we need to do.
I don't know, Michael. I mean, all dirty cops. There are 30 to 40,000 cops in just the New York metropolitan area alone. That's a weird analogy to put out there because there's only 520 corrupt motherfucking officials, and they all are oligarchs. So I'd pretty much say, yeah, everybody in Congress is corrupt as fuck, and until we vote them out, they're going to continue to do that.
Kids and show them how to do things. Has that been an interesting process to you, or are you surprised by how
Willy Wonka leading the Department of Health?
Well, certainly, and not only is it different from state to state, it's different from community to community, because each community has its own needs, and how that community can best be served. Really, parents have a great role.
She's
in
basically
that.
a spokesperson because they don't
Kids
let
belong
the
to
Department of
government,
Education
and
really
they don't
do
belong
anything
to the
anymore. It
system.
was
They
kind of
belong
set
to
up during George
parents.
W.
Parents are
Bush and
involved
failed.
in that in all communities. So that it's really critical that parents take that opportunity.
Hi, Secretary Maya Geving here with WITN News. And you mentioned what it's like to be back here in Eastern North Carolina and New Bern. What are some of the specific needs and goals that you've seen here in the area and your goals for this area in the future?
Well, I just arrived last night, and I'm having this program this morning, so I haven't really spent a great deal of time back in Eastern North Carolina. But I do have friends who are teachers. I do have friends that are in this part of the state and more towards the middle of the state. And I hear what a lot of their different needs are. And a lot of them are just talking about pay for...
We don't put them in office anymore. It's literally just a framed like political super PAC that runs ads down your throat until you can't breathe anymore, explaining to you that if you go and you vote for the other side, it's going to be the end of the world. That's what Mike Johnson just got done saying. Like, we're going to end up in a communist America if they don't win the midterms. No, you're just going to lose your job. And you didn't do anything all year. You went on vacation.
Teachers, and I'm a strong believer. I think teaching is the most noble
profession
we have in our country. I do think teachers are underpaid. I was just listening to the governor of Arkansas this morning, and one of the things that they have done is had the largest increase in teacher pay, I think, in the history of the state, and they're also giving merit bonuses to teachers for performance. And I think we have to look at outcomes and what teachers are able to accomplish when they're allowed to teach. The thing I can do at the federal government level, the best that I can, is to get rid of as much regulation as we can that's being pushed down on our schools and to our local
communities. You get to pick up from the turds that won't flush
that boggle of bureaucracy and have more money than available in the states, less time that teachers have to spend in regulatory compliance, and allow them to teach more.
Lying is like breathing
That's
for
the way
them.
we can serve our students better.
For any of them.
Absolutely, and this is a little
Left
bit
to right.
unrelated to education, but did you have a comment on the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham and the health issues that Senator Mitch McConnell is going through right now? Any words for them?
Well, I can certainly give my condolences to the family. You know, of Lindsey Graham, I've known him for a long time. He was really a wonderful man, a fine senator, and he will really be missed.
Absolutely. Anything about Mitch McConnell?
I haven't had any direct connection.
I don't know. Don't fucking ask me about Mitch McConnell.
Action, you know, with direct correspondence, you know.
Don't ask me about Mitch McConnell.
Being reported.
I don't know.
Macy O'Donnell with WCTI and ECU graduate as well. We speak a lot about our...
I think you do need to ask. Our colonel.
Stop posting drunk shorts.
We definitely
When did I
will.
post drunk shorts?
Ms. You can answer this question
I
as
haven't
well.
posted a single
We speak a
drunk
lot
short
about
ever.
needs, but what are some things you think
RIP
we excel
Midtown.
at already? Something that we might not need to focus on as much as far as education?
Are you talking in terms of...
Just in the state, in the region, what do you see as some things that we already do well? I know we always talk about things to change, things we can improve on, but what are some things that we already do well?
Well, I do think that as we look at more school choice opportunities, those are some of the things that I think are done really well in some communities, and I'm glad to see that the legislature did overrule. The governor overturned his veto when he didn't opt into the National School Choice Opportunity with the
month for Republicans.
scholarship granting organizations in the state. So I'm hoping that's going to be a bigger boost.
Delay. I guarantee you will hear about Mitch McConnell after the 8th of August. You just don't want the special election.
Mitch McMahon is from New Bern. Talk about, I guess, public education and what ways you've seen things kind of grow with it, and how students can continue to benefit. I know you guys mentioned handwriting and things of that nature.
So just a quick one for me is how quickly and how well the community college network is growing. I mentioned that you have high school graduates now who are graduating with associate's degrees or near to it, so they can go right into jobs like licensed practical nurses, et cetera, that would require an associate's degree. And the community college here, all the system across Eastern North Carolina is really revamping itself on a regular basis to meet up with labor force demands. So a whole lot of local companies work with the community
Why
colleges.
was Lindsey at Disney by
Bosch
himself with Pink
just
Toy?
the other day. They employ over 1,200 people in the
'Cause he
community,
likes
and they're bringing
Disney.
in another couple hundred next year as they're closing a plant in Tennessee
bro.
and bringing it here. And one of the reasons they're bringing it
Gay people like Disney. And, bro,
here, of course, it's such a business-friendly state, but also because they're able to work with the local community colleges to tailor that curriculum to people who can go learn about Bosch, learn exactly what they need to, and then come work and almost have a guaranteed job. So the community college network here is extraordinary. I'm very happy about it, and I'm very happy how agile they have
Again,
been
you
in
could
working
use
with
a
the
putty
local
knife to
community,
get
with
the crap
local
off of
employers to make sure that their curriculum is matching and keeping up.
looking like a wax statue, bro.
Lastly, for me, at the end of the
Got that WWE makeup
you
on.
mentioned how you want people to get back to
No matter
loving
who the president is, we should
enjoying the
work
food
every
and
single
explain
day
it a
for the
little bit.
American people. Shouldn't even
I
be
grew up
overseas or
saying the
anything,
pledge.
much less doing what he is doing. I mean, that's very wishful thinking, Junior Johnny. If you really truly believe that, then you probably should respect Donald Trump because he's the most publicly available, publicly accessible president in U.S. history.
Every single day.
There's a reason I'm able to run a daily show where I know that he's going to show up and do something every day.
And I think it's very
in
easy
public
for
for
people
me,
of this
the
generation to
constituent.
get pulled into nothing but online.
You can argue that it,
My father used to
in or
say to me,
out.
and it's a fact, comparison
Or she,
is the
hello.
thief of joy. If
You
you're
should
always
tell him that.
comparing yourself to what you see online and not what you see every day when you walk out your front door, you're going to feel dissatisfied. But from my view of actually having boots on the ground on most of this earth, we're the greatest nation in the world. And don't believe what you see
glad the
online. Don't
president
believe
is
the petty
stealing all the tax
grievances.
money.
Get out of your front door, and as Secretary was saying, talk to your neighbor, meet your neighbor, love your neighbor. You will see that this is the greatest nation in the world. We need to do less screen time, more face-to-face.
Very much coming from a school official. We need to do less screen time, all of us, including us adults, less screen time.
More of this, less of oh no, things are terrible, and that's what we need to get back to in loving America. Well said.
Last question. So I have a question for both of you, Secretary McMahon. I was going to ask, I'm a reporter for the New Bern
Trump
Sun
ruined
Journal,
America.
and one of the great things about what we do is that we still actually print our newspapers, which is something that I feel
Ooh.
like is being phased out a lot all over the United
question.
States. And one of the things that I wanted to ask
Especially
you,
for
because you
the
mentioned the importance
educational
of actually
sector.
writing things down and retention and
Yes,
attention span
retention.
among our kids. Do you think that
Yes.
there's a balance
Yes.
of integrating the immersive and interactive aspects of AI
Yes.
with the still handwritten, hands-on side of things,
Yes.
and kind of how that's going to go, and for the future?
Oh, well, yeah, you start. You say whatever you want, because I'm bought and paid for by the tech oligarchs, so really we shouldn't be using pen and pencil ever again. Like, it's fucking nuts out. Come on, guys. Wrestling pedo protectors is perfect for our education system? Hey, now.
I'm an educator. I've been an adjunct professor here and there and taught.
It's facts though. If you don't build retention in reading in print materials, you're not going to build education outright. And the fact that she fumbles over that question, which is a very good question to be asking the education secretary, proves to you that Google and Facebook and everybody else have the Trump administration by the fucking legs, and they're going to feed your children whatever the fuck they want to feed them.
Courses at very
That's what that was.
Thank you. That's exactly right. So I have seen places.
Because there shouldn't be any argument from anyone in an educational standpoint saying, yes, you should use a pen and pencil. Yes, you should read an actual book. Yes, printed materials are better than screens. This lady just said, get off the screen time, America. Turn around, they ask them the fucking question, and they both walk over it like pins and needles. Oh, actually, Google and Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg's giving me a lot of money to say that we shouldn't write things down anymore. What the fuck, guys? What the fuck?
Of especially elementary schools, for a few years, which I think is fantastic. You're learning hands-on. You're seeing your teacher eye to eye. I love the idea.
Hands-on learning and not answering or addressing the question directly. Retention and printability are fundamental to memorization in education. And the only reason you're going to not say use a pen and pencil is because you know that you're getting a lot of money from Mark Zuckerberg.
Of bringing handwriting back, I think
Last
it's
book I
absolutely
read?
critical. The idea of having it for somebody who's got dyslexia is amazing.
The,
but I'll tell you where else it comes
what was
in.
it? The
we have a so-called
Italian,
epidemic of ADD or ADHD.
the fuck is it
when
called?
you're writing these out, it's going into your brain at the same time, and you also become a better reader. If you're writing, you become a better reader rather than just skimming and looking at graphics. So it's absolutely critical to bring those basic skills back and to keep them.
Decameron.
Yeah,
I just finished the Decameron.
Attention is really much higher when you're actually
Memorization is not
putting in-
education, absolutely, but retention through physical and printed media allows for memorization, which allows for that repetition of education.
to paper. Just one little
The
quick
entire MAGA cabinet is
follow-up.
DEI, outsiders in middle school.
I'm a big
Thought he was
proponent
getting
of no
DOE
phones in
removed.
schools,
Facts,
bell
right?
to
Well,
bell.
he's pretty much is. He's just having her be a spokesperson and do nothing while he doesn't give them any money.
And when I first
because
became
he's
a
not allowed to remove it. Because the Senate actually technically has to vote, and a 66 vote majority has to disband the education department. So instead, he just allocates all of their funds and redirects them to other organizations and departments, and then he has her just walk out and say, here you go. Like, again, people freaking out being like, she's the Department of Education, that means we're stupid. No, like, she's a spokesperson for a organization that shouldn't exist and isn't getting any funding because he has to walk around it that way because he's supposed to have this thing that was voted in over Don't Ask, Don't Tell and George Bush and never worked.
of education.
So I'm glad we're not funding it anymore, and I'm glad she's out here still being a spokesperson and doing stuff with Erica Kirk and all that shit.
And they said,
Happy
"We're
on
not
both
doing
sides
any
at this
cell
one,
phones, bell to
honestly.
bell. You have to fix that." And I said, I can't fix that, but I'm really happy about it.
Iran has a
Few weeks later, I
94%
was at her
literacy
house,
rate.
she said,
She
"Oh,
used to be
something.
pretending
We
men
really
weren't
like
doing
not
what they're
having our
doing.
phones. We're
Now
really
she
talking in
pretends
the
the men are
hallways
doing
again. We're
nothing.
having fun. Cafeteria's buzzing. We're really planning stuff. She said, you know what? We think it's kind of cool now.
Agreed.
JD Vance
Thank you all
puts
very,
the
very
love
much.
and love
You
scene.
played so
LOL.
much.
If the DOE doesn't exist, disabled kids won't be able to attend school. Good boy. That's not true at all. They actually allocated that funding back to the states, and each state has allocated special eds funds. My mother's a teacher, and also she is a, what the fuck is it? The stupid science and math thing, STEM. She's a STEM instructor as well. And that's exactly how they did that. They literally gave it back to the states. There is no funding going out of the Department of Education. Democratic talking point. All right, fucking fine. You guys asked for it. You wanted a 3-hour show. Here you go. Karen Bass, LA mayor, saying some dumb shit. What's she got to say? Oh God. I didn't want to listen to Tickle Me Elmo today, but here we are. Here we are listening to Tickle Me Elmo, guys. You asked for it. You made me do it. Singing the national anthem, Tickle Me Elmo. Where's Tickle Me Elmo? Give me Tickle Me Elmo. Where is Tickle Me Elmo? I want my black Tickle Me Elmo. God, this guy is really fucking having at it, ain't he? 40 minutes. This guy's like the next Donald Trump for Democrats. There we go. There's Tickle Me Elmo. There we go. It's me, Karen Bass.
Good morning, good morning, good
Oh,
morning.
God,
and thank
guys,
you
here we go.
for such a warm welcome.
States don't have to use
let
it
me
for
just say
that if they
first
don't
of all,
want to.
didn't
And
you love
Mega
that speech?
extinguishes
I was having a great
DGAF.
time. I didn't know that he was also a
Sure. Okay. What state is taking special education funds given to them from the federal government and saying, actually, let's put this into book reading? Shut the fuck up.
comedian, but but clearly he is wonderful leader. Thank you so much for your welcome and your support and your leadership of Nalejo. Past leader Arturo Vargas, known each other for a long time and known Nalejo for most of the 50 years and always happy to be of support. but it's an honor to welcome you who are not from Los Angeles to Los Angeles, our great city here. You're coming in the World Cup, which we are very excited about hosting the games that we hosted here, but also you should know all throughout the city to make sure that the World Cup comes to the neighborhoods. We have what we call Kick It in the Park, because I know you've seen how expensive those World Cup tickets are, but we wanted our community to benefit from the World Cup, and especially communities that were impacted by last year's raids. The economic impact that that has had on many parts of our city and to the majority population, that those businesses that were hurt, when we have Kick It in the Park, then the vendors can come out, and we said, make some money, get that revenue back that you've lost and that you have been suffering from. But I do have to say, in our great city, we have great leaders. You should know that. Now, I spotted one of those great leaders who is here, and that's Monica Rodriguez. Where are you? Stand up and get your flowers. Because I want you to know she is a bold, strong leader in our city, and stay tuned. So let me just say that last year, just in June 6th of last year, our city was devastated. We are a city that has always prided ourselves in being inclusive of everyone that was here, and we faced what we felt was an attack. And it was an attack that we could have never, ever imagined. Having the U.S. military on our streets, essentially terrorizing people, was devastating. But I have to tell you something. I was so proud of our city because there wasn't one crack of support. Our city came together because we have always supported people, regardless of where they came from, when they got here, or why they're here, or what papers they had in their hand. We have always stood together and supported our communities. And I will tell you that it started here, but we knew this was going to spread around the country. And so right away, I started working with mayors all around the country. We continue to work together, sharing experiences and sharing how we can respond and have an effective counter. We've shared each other's strategies, each other's policies, and we will continue to do that because the message we have sent clearly is that we will never, ever allow our city to be divided. But I have to say that we use the World Cup as an opportunity to bring people together in a hopeful manner and had the watch parties that I described. But we're also doing this to lay the groundwork and to practice, frankly. It's our dress rehearsal for the big one, which is in 2028, hosting the world's largest Olympics in history. Los Angeles is one of 3 cities in world history that will host the Olympics for the 3rd time. Our theme on the city level is Games for All, because we don't want anybody to feel excluded from the Olympics, and most importantly, and this is major impact on the Latino community, we want our small businesses to thrive, not just the usual suspects, but affirmatively and aggressively fight for our small businesses to
shit. Damn it, I hate when that happens. One second, guys. Hold on. Ah! Stupid thing. Fucking sound. Headphone. Go.
Economically benefit from the games. And so the dress rehearsal was the Kick It in the Park activities. When I was in Paris around the Olympics, I saw that they had these programs in all neighborhoods where there were watch parties, but there were also activations, kids' sports, and the entire community of Paris felt like you were involved in the Olympics, even if only a few people went. And that's what we're going to do here, and we practiced with our 100 watch parties in all of our parks to make sure that we bring these resources to everyone. Now, unfortunately, a major sector of the Los Angeles community in East LA, Boyle Heights, is now experiencing another tragedy. A fire that you might have heard about, a warehouse fire, has led to an environmental justice issue where that community is suffering today from a warehouse that burnt, where there's 85 million pounds of rotting food that is really impacting the neighborhood. But it raises the question for me of environmental justice, which is a key issue that impacts our communities of color, where we have thousands of warehouses. We don't know what is in those, and we need to find out. So hopefully we can prevent a future negative impact, especially on health and safety in our neighborhoods. So raising it as an issue that is an environmental justice issue that all of your communities face too, because that is something that happens in our communities. But I view all of these problems, even if they are a crisis, as an opportunity to bring people together, to fight for change and to fight for a better quality of life. So I want to welcome you to Los Angeles, a city of dreams, the entertainment capital of the world, a city that is hopeful, a city that knows that we are a city of dreams and of hopes and of aspirations and inclusivity, where basically everyone from the world lives in Los Angeles. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the city. I hope you enjoy your stay here. And please, those of you who are not from LA, come back in 2028. Attend the Olympics. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, on behalf of State Farm, one of our conference presenting partners, Mr. Axel Del Cid, Vice President, California Customer Relations for State Farm General.
All right. Hey, can we give it up for Brian for bringing the energy this morning? And of course for Mayor Bass for being present here and giving her remarks as well. All right, so buenos días y bienvenidos a Los Angeles. My name is Axel Del Cid, and I'm Vice President of California Customer Relations with State Farm General. On behalf of more than 62,000 State Farm employees and over 19,000 State Farm agents across the United States, it is my distinct honor to bring greetings and congratulations as we gather to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the NALEO Educational Fund and the 43rd Annual Conference. Congratulations to all of you here today on reaching this extraordinary milestone. For 5 decades, the NALEO Educational Fund has equipped elected and appointed officials with the tools, connections, and strategies to lead effectively while inspiring civic participation and strengthening communities across our nation. Through its programs and outreach, the organization has empowered more than 250,000 aspiring citizens.
That's kind of crazy.
Demonstrating that meaningful change begins with.
All right, guys. Let's move on from Karen Bass. We got some Maine Democrats doing the protest out at ICE. Let's check out what they got to say here. Only about 8 minutes of this. Google proves what? Proves it, dummy? Proves what, dummy?
We're going to start with Dr. Parag Shah.
Good evening, friends. I have 3 things to offer to everybody. First, I want to commend us for continuing with our protest. I have a rule. Don't ever wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty, and the pig likes it. I am so proud
These
of
people
us
are
for
wild.
standing up.
They're my favorite type of people. Also, see this person where he's saying, don't wrestle with pigs, you will get dirty? This is the CDC fat Indian official who replaced Graham Plattner. So they had a Nazi lobster farmer with a mustache that was like doing really well. And then they had like a bunch of women that he slept with like 30 or 40 years ago, like create speculation over the weekend. And then they turned him into a fat Indian man from the CDC. And now this fat Indian man from the CDC is out here in the streets fighting police officers. So that's going up against Susan Collins. I mean, yeah, I get it. Like, maybe you're going to win, but I would have much rather voted for the Nazi lobster farmer. Now that I know that the CDC Indian official is going to come in, it's a little bit like, all right, guys, what are you trying to pull here? I'd rather vote for the skeleton Susan Collins than you guys putting a CDC official in charge that's out here in the street screaming, I hate the police, I'm with you.
And if anyone here was
The pigs are dirty. Go back to your fucking country. You're fucking dirty, you stupid fucking Indian. You're going to call pigs dirty? You're going to have derogatory terms towards fucking police officers? You're the pig. You're a fat fucking pig from the CDC. And you need to go back to your own disgusting fucking country. What the fuck is this shit? Fuck off, you stupid Indian. Gross fuck. Ew, gross, man.
killed and murdered by ICE.
This Indian fat guy from the CDC trying to lecture us on pigs at a
I have
protest.
one question on which I will close.
On which you'll close. You're at a protest. You're not at a fucking speaking engagement. This is crazy.
Americans must be murdered at the hands of Donald Trump's ICE agents before we finally decide to abolish ICE.
Abolish ICE, bro. Bro already lost his election. Abolish ICE! Loses election. Immediately loses election. Abolish ICE! Immediately loses election.
Right now. I have two messages for you today.
Good job, guy.
To our marshals and our medics.
Top of the 8th AL for NL0. Oh, it's the All-Star game tonight, guys.
Only way to guarantee that this type of fascist violence doesn't affect
American up 4-0 in the 8th. That's wild.
And so every single man, every single American must oppose ICE for their own good and for no other reason. Thank you all.
We should all oppose ICE. End the ice. Abolish all of the ice, the icy drinks at the 7-Eleven.
Yesterday is nowhere in the United States.
Remove the ices.
We need to stand together. We need to continue. Even
Icy getting a lot of pre-publicity lately, aren't they?
Because it could be any one of us.
How many of these people do you think specifically do not drink ices because they think that it's from ice? And how many of these people do you think drink a icy on the way home in support of fuck ice?
And all I want to say is,
I think it goes both ways for them. I think half of them are drinking the icy, the other one's
I don't
not.
know.
Go Cubbies,
So
absolutely. Go Cubs.
that anything like this could happen in this country, and no one.
But that NL losing, bro. That NL getting destroyed.
So look, here we go. We're gonna do something to get rid of ICE.
But I love the ice drinks at 7-Eleven.
People that support them, because we no world should we have to live in where you get up in the morning and go to work and you're murdered.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to go into the work and then you get murdered. You're not getting murdered, sir. This is people from Brazil being shot. I was fought on by ICE yesterday. Of course you were, and it had nothing to do with you too, right? You had no part in it. They just came up to you and were like, "Let's fuck with this lady."
ICE have been doing this in America for hundreds of years. ICE has been doing this for decades. This is the 11th person shot by ICE by this administration. It is time to abolish ICE and prosecute publicly the officers of the...
Okay, but again, like, what do you think this is? You think you're gonna hang up the federal officials in a town square? Like, what are we doing here?
Murdering our neighbors. It's time to fuck ICE.
I usually just flip them off.
Thank you all for being here. The most important thing, as we heard our friend Shay Stuart Belay say yesterday in Biddeford, is this can't be the only day we're out in these streets. We have to be out in these streets every day, and we cannot get systemic change unless everyone steps up to change the system. School boards, city councils, state races, congressional races, everyone has to keep showing up. Fuck ICE.
Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. That's right. Fuck ICE.
We've got a lot of people here. We've got a lot of people running for office, and I think it's very important.
A lot of people running for office? Of course. Just out here, just campaigning in these streets.
Every single word that is spent on advocating for border security is advocating for the killing that happened yesterday and the killings that will continue until we see elected leaders stand up and have courage.
Oh boy, guys, the poll just ended. JD Vance is still in the lead, but we're going to go to hour 4, guys. We are going to hour 4 now of our show. Potentially a 5-hour race tonight. So who's going to be the third partier this hour? Who will be president in 2028? 847 days until election. We got JD Vance in first place with 47 wins. We got Gavin Newsom with 18 wins. And our third party for this hour is none other than Ron DeSantis. How do you spell that? How do you fucking spell Ron DeSantis? How do you spell little girl with boots on that have 2-inch lifts? How do you spell that? How do you spell like I am very short and I have lifts in my boots? I think that's correct. Yes, that I am very short and I have lifts in my boots. And hour 4 of the show starts now, guys. Oh my God. All right, guys, where are we going to go? We're going to go back to the Democrats. Go back to these protesters.
And we can stand up, and we can pressure them to make them afraid of us.
If you want to stop a car, why wouldn't you shoot the tires? They didn't want to stop the car. They wanted to stop his face.
My name is Sophie Warren.
So there's that. There is that.
I want to say that there have been organizers month in and out for the last 6 years since House reporting came out in 2021 that this ICE facility would be here.
Worst organization ever.
This ICE facility does not represent my hometown. This is not
Well, on DV, go read the Newsweek article about it. It was verified. Shoot the tires. It wasn't GTAD. Shitty, the driver doesn't stop the car. No, but they weren't. Again, they were not trying to stop the car. They were trying to make his face go into a million pieces. You're forgetting this part.
Leaders that will make those commitments to abolish ICE, to defund ICE, to hold them publicly accountable.
Yes, Grav. They could have just shot the tires out, but they didn't. That's facts. They just blew his face off instead. Maybe don't fuck with ICE. Y'all trying to abolish these people? They out here murdering y'all.
Thank you all for being here. Abigail Woods.
Cool. Link it for us all. Maybe not, but it helps. Instead, the jackpot shot good in the face.
Completely unacceptable for this to be happening in our community.
It's unacceptable!
I wanted to wake up to on a Monday, I can tell you that much. So thank you for being here.
I'm speaking. This is the I'm speaking lady in full fucking costume. I'm speaking. You're speaking. Got some stupid fucking husband supporting her dumb shit. You know it. Oh, there he is. It's fucking daddy or somebody. What are you doing, you autistic bald man? Why are you closing your eyes when you talk? I hate men that close their eyes when they talk. I want to punch them in the face. Open your fucking eyes. Shot first, shoot first, ask questions later. That seems to be the model. I don't know why we're surprised by it.
It's for the next town and the
Thought
next
so. No proof.
country and the wider world. Thank you for being here at Against the World. I just got one thing to say. In the words of a man who's not much older than the man who was shot in the head by ICE in my city yesterday, Zoran Mamdani.
Yeah, why try to run down and
In the words of Zoran Mamdani, what are you doing, you cuck retard?
Maine, a 26-year-old man said goodbye to his wife and daughter and left for work. Moments later, he was dead, shot in the head by ICE agents. The second man ICE has killed in 6 days. ICE is killing our neighbors. ICE cannot be reformed. Abolish ICE.
ICE cannot be reformed. Abolish ICE. Again, like you have to wrap that around your own head and think about it. You really think that you're going to live in a reality where we're just not going to deport anybody anymore?
Our last speaker, then we're going to end with a chant and we'll talk about how to get out of here.
I'm Maddie Daughtry, and I am the president of the Maine.
They're gonna give you parking directions on how to get out of here after she. Guys. We love you, President Trump. Facts, right?
The last speaker, I want us to remember that a father lost his life yesterday, and a 3-year-old.
Oh no, we went below 40 viewers, guys. We're in the danger zone. We only got like 1 minute or the show ends. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and try to send people into the algorithm. Keep the chat going right now. Our show might be over.
Daughter watched her son,
We'll see.
her father, die. She was wearing bluey pajamas. We need to never see this happen in the streets of Biddeford, in Maine, and in this country.
Yes.
And I am here to center ourselves as we end this, to never forget the human toll of what has happened here in Maine, in
Liberals, if it
Minnesota,
fits our
in
narrative
Texas.
values, facts.
So I have a strong message. ICE, get out of my state.
I have a strong message. ICE leave. Okay, good job. Good job. You did it. Tom Holman's listening. Oh shit. All right, calm down, lady. Cry me a river, bish.
Find a buddy when you leave.
Find a buddy when you leave. This is the shit they used to do at BLM to us in New York City. They'd be like, if you leave by yourself, you will be kidnapped.
It's our chance to show that this country was founded on love.
Just fear-mongering on the last moment. Hey guys, remember, you want to be buddying up with somebody, otherwise you will be murdered by the ICE people.
6 p.m. Monument Square, Portland tonight. I want to thank everybody for coming, for being disciplined.
It's literally written
for
by a
holding
comedian
the
as a
space,
troll
for
story.
watching everybody's
It feels
back.
like it.
This is the world we
Time to
live
say
in now.
farewell.
It's the world that is all around us on the planet. It is now here in Maine. So we have to toughen up.
Girl,
We
go
have to
somewhere
get
and sit down
organized.
and shut the
We
fuck
have
up,
to hold
hypocrite
our
with
elected
Democrats.
officials accountable.
Exactly right.
We have to demand that our unions, our churches, our community organizations are with us on the front lines. Yes. That is the real test that we are facing today. We're going to end with a chant, and then we're going to leave here.
We're gonna end with a chant from a. We're gonna end with a chant from a Native American place. This is the chant of the Akonakawa lobster farmer from Maryland. I am not a Nazi. Yes, I am a rapist. Please vote for the CDC fat Indian guy. On 3. Are we ready? On 3.
3 or 4 people arm in arm. Do not turn your back on anybody. Get safely to your vehicles. And then go find an
Talk about a horror story. Imagine having to go to this thing. He's explaining to you that you can't leave without fucking somebody or somebody's going to kidnap you. All right, guys, we are back in the live here, so let's see what else is going on. We had Amy Coney Barrett up earlier today, so maybe we'll take a good little gander at this little thing here. We had the 2 female justices show up to be like, we need some funding. We need some funding because people are trying to kill us. People be trying to kill these female justices, and so the female justices joined together to say, give us more money for vacations, please. More money, please. More money, please. All right. Amy Coney Barrett and fucking some other woke-ass lady.
In full committee. This committee.
But not the woke one. Like the woke one that was on Broadway, that's a wild.
Sufficient funding.
This is like the standard Democrat lady.
Itself.
Preach the unique constitutional role of the
Uh-oh, blue hair. Blue hair back. How can you be that old and have blue hair? It's fucking insane. It is insane, right?
Of our nation's highest tribunal. Judicial independence is fundamental to our constitutional system, and nothing about today's hearing should be understood as diminishing that principle.
Barrett loves her Supreme
At the same
Court
time,
police protection.
independence does not preclude
She needs more of it.
accountability. Cabinet secretaries, agency heads, and leaders of independent
And the blue-haired lady's
institutions
like, I don't want to give money to you. I have to fund fucking CDC Indian guys in Maine.
Here before Congress to
I
explain
can't be giving
how
you
taxpayer
protection as
dollars are being
the highest
spent,
court in the land.
and to answer questions regarding their budget requests. And the Supreme
Can't stand
Court
that swamp
should
hag
be
either, facts,
no
right?
exception.
Crazy.
Each year, Congress exercises one of its core conditional constitutional responsibilities by appropriating
JD will be
funds
president
for
2028
the
because
federal
Trump will die in a
judiciary.
couple of months.
It is therefore entirely
My question to you then is, will JD still be leading in our poll of the day when Donald Trump dies?
appropriate that the court appear before this committee each year to discuss its needs, to answer questions from the representatives of the American people. As two of our nation's
Immigrants
foremost
in the United States
scholars,
commit
I
crimes
thank
at
you.
lower rates than the
I thank
United
you for
States foreign
recognizing
population.
that the Constitution vests the power of the purse.
Great.
In
Then
the
go to your
Congress
fucking utopia
in
somewhere
bringing
else.
your
I would like to
budget
have my
before
country
us
back,
today.
please. Thank
Turning now
you,
to the fiscal year
please.
2027 budget.
Get the fuck out then.
No one can ignore the disturbing rise in threats directed at members.
They're not criminals. You're criminals. Great. Then I would like my criminal enterprise to be avoidant of all of your bullshit. Please leave. Thank you. Correct grab. Most U.S.
not
crime is
lost on
carried
me
out
or
by
any of us
domestically
the
born
increasing
citizens, not
prevalence
immigrants.
and
Absolutely. And I would like to live in my prisoned safe haven of only Americans, please. I would like only Americans to stab me, please.
Of threats against
Someone come
not
get
only
the
you and your
grandma.
colleagues,
The
on
grandma
Supreme
be dyeing her hair blue, bro.
Court, but
The
against
grandma
judges
about to fucking
throughout
lose it.
the federal judiciary. As of the 1st of July, there have
Imagine going to your grandma's funeral and she has blue hair. Just fucking A, man, right? Like, they really fucked this grandma up.
been 370 threats made to federal judges, according to the U.S. Marshal Service. During the entirety of last year, there were 564 threats made. At this rate, we are looking at a 31% year-over-year increase in
Well,
threats
how in the case,
against
let's just
federal
let them
judges.
stay? Not.
That is simply and deeply an alarming rise.
You don't look
We are
Native
not
American to me,
strangers here
champ.
to this.
No, you're right.
This heightened
I'm
threat
fucking
environment.
English. I murdered
Members on
those.
both sides of the aisle
We
have
took
seen
care of
an
them. We took care of the fucking Mohawks. All right, bro?
increase
I don't
in
got time for
serious,
this bullshit. Shut the
credible
fuck up,
threats
Alex.
of violence as well. This poses a danger not only to public officials, but to the institution of democracy as a whole. Our system cannot function
Jesus
without
Christ.
a reasonable
Ranking
guarantee
member.
of safety.
Bringing us down the
In
fucking
recognition of this
death
need, we
hill.
approved on a bipartisan basis more than $890 million for lower court security for fiscal year 2026, an increase of over $140 million compared to the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
In the spring, this committee passed a funding bill.
All right, I just want to hear the
to around,
fucking
I say this
judges.
to your testimony.
Your opening statement.
Chairman Joyce, thank you for giving Justice Barrett and me the opportunity to present the Supreme Court's fiscal year 2027 budget request. But if you don't mind, Chairman Joyce, before I do that, I would like to say a few words about Senator Graham's untimely passing. Senator Graham, of course, was a member of this House before he became a senator. And in part, I wish to express the entire court's condolences to his sister, the rest of his family, his many friends and colleagues here in the House, in the Senate, and elsewhere, on behalf of the entire court. But I'd also like to make a few more personal.
Johnny the Monkey, are you a girl? Or are you also part of the male emotionally aged 14 that are in my comments? I believe you're part of the demo that you're complaining about.
Comments. You know, it's not very often. Well, I'll just say that I didn't get many Republican votes when I was confirmed to the Supreme Court. And that's the usual state of things today. Not many Republicans vote for the nominees of somebody selected by a Democratic president, and not many Democrats do the same for someone selected by a Republican president.
Damn, John, let go of your monkey.
One would not expect such a
That looked like you got caught
cross-party, if you
pimping
will,
the neighbor's
vote,
cat.
certainly from somebody from a deep red or deep blue state. And yet Senator Graham voted for me. And I vividly remember, because he was a vivid person, the conversation that we had in his office prior to my hearing, where he got to know me. It was a long conversation. He took the opportunity to get to know me. He questioned me with great seriousness and great knowledge about my record as Solicitor General, including particularly the various terrorism issues that office had dealt with over the time I was Solicitor General.
See, there's a difference between Kagan and Jackson. Like, Kagan's the kind of Democrat that you want. Jackson's the kind of Democrat that makes you think, well, maybe the Nazis should be in charge.
And I still more vividly remember the conversations that we had at my hearing itself. In the last day or so, many people have talked about how funny Senator Graham was. I think Al Franken said he was the funniest man in the Senate. But what I remember about that hearing was that somehow Senator Graham made me look funny which is a harder thing entirely, by asking me what I had done on Christmas the following year. And I'll skip the back and forth, but many people said to me afterwards, that exchange with Senator Graham was the moment my confirmation was sealed.
Okay, wait. I gotta let's go look this up. Let's go look this up. Hold on. See if I can get this on Twitter. Graham Christmas. Let's see if we get this. Oh wait, here it is.
Christmas Day.
Senator Graham, that is a...
Or where are you at on Christmas Day?
Senator Graham, that is an undecided legal issue, which, I suppose I should ask exactly what you mean by that. I'm assuming that the question you mean is whether a person who was apprehended in the United States is...
No, I just asked you where you're at on Christmas.
You know, like all Jews, I was probably at a Chinese restaurant.
Hey!
Great answer.
You know, I could almost see that one coming, and I thought,
damn. That's a good fucking moment. That is a good fucking moment. Fetterman, why do you say that about Justice Jackson? Because Justice Jackson's parading, or like every time, if you listen to the depositions and stuff, Justice Jackson kind of makes herself become more distracted versus the rest of them. She'll put up arguments that she knows aren't going to necessarily win out to even a 5-4 vote, let alone a 8-1 vote. She'll continue to go down the literal political avenue of advocating for liberal causes. You know what I mean? Like, she advocates rather than judges. The rest are trying to see the situation for what it is. I see time and time again Justice Jackson get on the fucking mic and start talking about a political issue instead of talking about the actual fundamentals of the case. If there's a case about women's rights in a women's bathroom, Judge Jackson is the one that's going to bring up that blah, 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 women in men's sports and transgenders and da-da-da and the Daily Wire and these stats. Kagan might be a Democrat, but Kagan is going to go, okay, well, was anybody violated? Did everybody get a bathroom? Is everybody getting equal treatment? I like the balance of power with Amy Coney Barrett and Jackson. I do not like the balance of power, or Amy Coney Barrett and Kagan. I do not like the balance of power when you have people like Jackson. Because if you have a lot of judges like that, which is where we're starting to lean towards, then you have people essentially voting red and blue in the court. And that's not good, because the court should be looking at the case itself, not the actions of the politics after the fact.
By asking me what I had done on Christmas the following year. And I'll skip the back and forth, but many people said to me afterwards, that exchange with Senator Graham was the moment my confirmation was sealed. So I want to express my gratitude towards him, not only for his support, but for... She as well as Amy Coney Barrett have both stood under the whole thing that Ruth Bader Ginsburg did, which is that we're a judge, we're not politicians. Jackson has specifically said, obviously, we all have our politics, and I was appointed by a Democrat, and I will advocate for democracy. That was her statement when elected. So she's living under a different philosophy than the rest of them. And I wish that we could get 9 that just lived in the philosophy of, no, I'm not red or blue, I'm here to see the case, and was there something wrong that happened? Approaching the confirmation process. Who's the nutcase? The kind of seriousness that he
Jackson's
did.
Jackson's the nutcase.
And
not
the kind
this
of
one.
respect
This
he
is
did. And
this is the most liberal-leaning judge, but everything that all of her arguments tend to center around the actual case itself.
I never got to know Senator Graham very well, but I can see why so many people will deeply miss him. And I just wanted to convey that on behalf of me, and again express the condolences of the entire court to his family and friends. We are very appreciative, Mr. Chairman, of the subcommittee's constructive engagement and support. You and your staff have been with us each step of the way as we've added security funding to meet the challenges of these times. I personally have enjoyed our regular meetings together, which have often occurred at the court. Our respective staffs also speak and share information
Most
regularly,
Democrats live in a whole different
and I
world.
look forward to our future work.
But that's why you have to point out the ones that aren't when they aren't. Like, she's clearly been a Democrat her whole life, and yet I would say she does not judge like a Democrat. She judges like a judge. She's willing to come out here and make an anecdote about Lindsey Graham. She didn't need to do that. Politically, that probably wins her less favors with her own side. But this is more of what we need.
The Supreme Court's funding is provided separately from the lower federal courts and split between two appropriations.
Please back up your statement.
One for
The Democrats
salaries
are
and
nutcases.
expenses.
Jesus fucking Christ. Do I have to do this, guys? All right, fine. Justice Jackson woke. We'll just do that. Let's just, I'm sure there's going to be 1,000
was
things.
thinking about this, and I think there are various sources that say this, that you obviously have permanent allegiance based on being born in whatever country you're from. That's what everybody recognizes. Okay. But you also have local allegiance when you are on the soil of this other sovereign.
See what I'm saying? Like, what? You're just trying to make the arguments to make the arguments. It's always that way. Why don't we just do this then, too? Broadway. Justice Jackson Broadway. Do you guys remember this one? Here's the justice of the United States people. Tell me this isn't a biased individual. Tell me this isn't a fucking woke-ass Democrat liberal ruining society.
Very strongly negative reaction to it. Like, I hate it. Which makes me think it must be.
She's literally doing a musical, guys.
Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling.
Oh my God, she's black and doing things. I'm fucking... Okay, enough of that, bitch. Back to normal
related to the
people.
daily operations of the court, and another for care of the building and grounds. We will address the operating budget today.
Do you really think that this bitch is gonna go out there fucking doing a musical? No. And she's a Democrat. Do your fucking job. You know what I mean? Like,
the architect
doesn't need to be that
will
hard.
Submit a separate statement concerning our buildings and grounds.
I'm not arguing. I'm asking for examples of Democrats acting like nutcases. You just saw one.
The court's operating budget.
You just
funds the
saw
daily
one.
activities you'd
I can't do
expect
this
in
all
any
night,
federal
but
courthouse,
you just saw one.
such as library and research services, case management, visitor services, information technology, facility management, and security. We carry out our work with relatively modest funding. Our budget represents just 2% of the...
Daniel over here, like, on his own merit, like, defending all of the transgenders. Make sure to have a great conversation with Daniel about the transgenders in the comment section, guys.
Judiciary
What the
branch's
fuck?
total funding, which in turn
Bro.
represents 1/10 of 1% of the federal budget. Nonetheless, we take our responsibility as fiscal stewards very seriously. In fiscal year 2027, the court is requesting an additional $14 million, a 7% increase for salaries and expenses. Over the last 5 fiscal years, the Supreme Court's funding needs have grown on average 15% per year. Aside from annual inflationary increases, recent growth in the court's budget has been almost entirely for security expenses. The majority of last year's funding increase went to shifting the responsibility for residential security of the justices from the Marshal Service to the Supreme Court Police. I first joined the court in 2010. Our security was very different at the time. The Supreme Court Police focused almost exclusively on protecting the building, and our IT department focused on supporting the latest BlackBerry devices. I didn't have a security team of my own, and I was accompanied by security personnel only when I participated in work-related public events. We began expanding our security program in earnest in 2017, initially at the behest of members of Congress. We engaged government and private industry experts to evaluate our needs on an ongoing basis. We started by expanding personal security beyond the Chief Justice so that associate justices also received small security details, much too small as it turned out. As threat assessments called for larger details and as overtime costs correspondingly rose, we requested funding for more officers, vehicles, and support staff. As events at the Capitol and other federal courthouses revealed our building's vulnerabilities, we also added new physical security systems. When personal threats increased following the Dobbs leak, we expanded our residential security and threat assessment activities. Similarly, as online attacks grew in number and sophistication, we requested additional cybersecurity resources. Our strategy has been consistent across security functions: expand incrementally but effectively to meet evolving security challenges. We are not alone in this. Although orders of magnitude smaller, the Supreme Court's police department is modeled after your own Capitol Police Department.
That's so blind as
The two
those people will
departments
not
have
see.
matching
Facts,
pay tables
Michael.
and similar
Facts.
organizational charts. They work closely together.
This
on
is
threats
nutso,
pertaining
guys.
to
There's
the
people
Capitol
crazy on both
campus
sides. If
and
you're trying to
beyond.
argue that one side's
They
crazier
also
than the
face
other, you're
many of
losing
the
the
same
argument.
challenges, including officer recruitment and retention.
Yawn.
And they
I
have
know. We
implemented
don't got much
many
else
of the
left.
same solutions.
Let's see what else we had here, because, I mean, they were just doing budgetary shit. Let's see if we can get something else in here. You guys are still live with me. You're still chilling with me. We ain't got much else news going on. Let's see. What else we had today? What else can we go to? What else? Tom Homan, we went to... let's do this guy, this White House guy.
The first thing I want to put on this...
Budget guy is going to do some budget stuff.
Yeah, it would be at it, or yeah, it's really about the best CPI report we've seen in 6 years. There were
all evil needs to prosper is for good men to do nothing.
And it beat expectation for all 67 of them. And I think the reason is that not only did energy prices go down a lot, which is something that people expected, but there are so many signs of the success of President Trump's policies. So, for example, we got a big decline in drug prices. We got a big decline in car insurance costs because we've increased the rule of law. It's no longer the case that people are rioting in our cities everywhere and stealing the cars. And so going thing by thing, there's so much good news in this report that we could go on forever. Tomatoes are down 10% in month over month, so you should go home and have a nice salad when you get home.
At 4 p.m. today Eastern, the blockade of Iranian ports was back into effect. Do you see that impacting consumer spending or on the price to pay here?
The fact is that the Navy has made an enormous amount of progress at helping our friendly ships get through the Gulf. And if you look at the day-to-day traffic, there's a heck of a lot of fossil fuel, of oil, making it out and making it to refineries in Asia and Europe and elsewhere. And so I know that a lot of people who have been surprised in the past at why didn't oil prices go up by so much more during the conflict?
This is a very boring room. You need some better content, man. Are you still in your mom's basement? What's really going on? Maybe you should take some LSD. I guess you just have never watched my show before. We're in hour 4, bro, of news that only happens today. What do you want me to do? All right, guys? But since you don't want to listen to the fucking Supreme Court justices or this guy ramble about bullshit, let's try to find something else. Let's find you know what, you were right. Let's go to Rubio. Let's go to Asmongold with Rubio.
And this is the thing, right? So they're posting these images about how they want to kill all of these people, and it's like they're also want to kill. This is the thing with the European leaders, right? This is the Germany guy, that's the France guy, that's the UK guy, that's the Italy girl. Like, I mean, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
We're just letting them pop off like this? Why is Starmer there? Because he's a bad guy. That's why. That's it. The USA has a bigger army than the entire EU combined, by the way. I don't even know if that's true. Who the fuck knows? So anyway, yeah, there's more of these. Oh, is this the same one? Oh my God.
This is boring. We put on some better content.
Jesus.
Ain't better content than blowing up Iranians.
Wow.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh my God. Yeah, is it the 4th of July again? This is the encore.
I was saying yawn to grab.
That looks
not to
cool,
you.
though. It
You
does
do-
look really
you do.
cool. Give me a minute. I got to use the
It
bathroom.
was yawn though.
Smells like freedom, bro.
We had like hardly anything left. Like I mean, we can cover this because it's all that's left really, but we're running low on fumes, guys. We don't got no more news left for the day. I appreciate you all sticking with me though. Rules of the game are the same. We will stay alive as long as we stay in these 40s.
That's a big one.
Got about a half an hour
Bunker
left.
Buster,
Of the
they must be hitting underground
last
missile
hour so far.
depots. I don't even know why. Like, I mean, this is really sad. Can you please play Fortunate Son while we're watching this? I would if it didn't fuck up the videos that are going to be made about it.
Yeah,
How is this
right.
going differently than Afghanistan? What are you talking about? We're blowing the fucking shit out of them. What do you mean? It's going the same as Afghanistan. Most Americans don't like us with hundreds of billions of dollars. So I'm going to pull you up. Here's the situation that we're in. Iran costs us a lot of money because we have to pay money to undo their terrorism bullshit. So like we spend billions of dollars every single year in order to make why? They're blowing terror position. It's a death. I've been very adamant about this. So anyway, Iran's NFA has said the U.S. has not only violated the ceasefire agreement signed 25 days ago, but has also attacked Iranian transport infrastructure, fishing fleets, cargo terminals, residential buildings, calling it among the worst war crimes.
Guys, we just fell into the 30s again. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, send people into the algorithm. Tell us who you're voting for in that poll of the day right now. Get the algorithm polling, because if it's sitting there for the next minute or so, show might be over tonight, guys.
Man. That's what happened last time. We don't want to have to do
who
this.
the commies put up. Sounds like Asmongold.
We
It is
can.
Asmongold.
It's possible. We
I
don't
got
need to
nothing
do
else
this.
left, guys. I can only cover what he already covered.
Top comment.
We already covered everything
Let's
today.
pacify them in Lindsey's name.
Except
yes.
for sitting and listening to Kagan and Amy Coney Barrett beg for $14 million for the next hour and a half.
True.
That's all, that's
And
all I had left.
this is what happens, right?
Because I only cover news for the day.
And I'm glad to see this. I am. I'm very, very glad. And what is the killing of 40 or 80,000 people? Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, I mean, they're just, again, this is what they do, is they commit the most insane crimes against humanity possible. And then the moment that you start killing them, they complain that you're committing a war crime. And you know what's good about that? Marco Rubio made comments about international law. Oh boy.
For 250 years, Americans have governed ourselves as a free and sovereign people.
Short-term
We choose our
pain,
own leaders.
game.
I'm gonna reset it just because it was low volume.
For 250 years, Americans have governed ourselves as a free and sovereign people. We choose our own leaders. We determine
right.
our own laws.
True.
And when we're accused of a crime, we stand for judgment before a jury of our own peers. This is the essential and indispensable feature of our form of government. It is the foundation of our shared way of life. But today, powerful people in faraway places want to take that away from us. They believe that they should be in charge of your laws, of your country, your life, and they don't care whether or not you agree. Halfway across the world, there's an institution that calls itself the International Criminal Court. Maybe you...
Oh, fuck.
Maybe you've heard of it.
Maybe you've heard of it.
He actually is saying, fuck them.
Peace out, Alex. It's 5 o'clock
I've
somewhere.
been waiting on
Absolutely.
this for 20
See
years.
you later, Michael.
It's about time.
Appreciate
heard of
you.
it. Maybe you haven't. But chances are you don't know the names of its judges, of its prosecutors, or its president.
Fuck short-term pain.
And you shouldn't have to. But as we
When Pierce
shouldn't
say
have
Trump
to.
is guilty, call them corrupted liars, America. Marco is going to piss his pants when he goes into prison. Why is he going to prison?
Oh my God.
speak, the ICC and its friends are waging a war against our country, not with bullets or missiles, but with statutes, and compacts, and the force of so-called international law. When the ICC was born 24 years ago, they told us that it was merely a narrow backstop, a global court that would step in to prosecute only the gravest offenses, things like genocide and war crimes, and only when a nation's courts were unable to prosecute them on their own. But the truth is, it was something far more radical and extreme. It was a global tribunal staffed by unelected globalist bureaucrats who claim their power is almost unlimited.
Who decided that? Oh
Trump
my
paid
God.
$5.6 million today for rape. Sexual assault, not rape, not rape. But yes,
That is insane.
He did pay that $5 million.
The danger of this global court has only continued to grow. Today, it threatens every aspect of our political and legal system. Border Patrol agents removing violent criminals from our country. American Marines risking their lives to defend our homeland. Prosecutors working to dismantle terrorist plots to attack and kill Americans. If we stand idle, all of them would be at the mercy of foreign judges thousands of miles away, facing the constant risk of prosecution and even imprisonment for the so-called crime of defending their own country. The American people never agreed to any of this.
True. True. We're not accountable to some loser over in Europe. Absolutely. Some international fake bullshit court. Fuck this. Do whatever we want.
And they never will.
Yep.
Read the words of our Declaration of Independence.
Facts.
We fought a revolution against a foreign power, transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses.
Facts.
We gotta do it again?
Independence is our birthright. We will never let foreign bureaucrats take that away from us. This administration will not sit by as the ICC and its allies seek to threaten our people. If they believe they can deprive us of our sovereignty, we will teach them the full meaning of American resolve.
Damn, bro. Damn, bro. What in the world? Bro, what?
Oh my God.
That was insane.
I have been waiting on this for a long time. I have been. Holy shit.
Wow.
Gloves are finally off? Not yet. I honestly, that's not a promise. It's a threat. It should be. They think they can tell us what to do. Fuck them. We do whatever we want. That's my next president. I like the sound of this. Excellent stuff. These unelected globalist bureaucrats have no business weighing in on the sovereignty of American people. This is what international law is for those that don't understand.
Exactly.
Awesome. But my immediate concern is the radical woke judges in this country. True, Eugene. Great point.
Thanks.
You're right. And Senator, ICC has lost all credibility. I totally agree. And even if they hadn't lost credibility, fuck them anyway. That's the way I see it. Now America can be America first. Yeah, that's America first. Exactly. And again, this is all talk. Nothing ever happens. Please don't get excited. I agree that it's all talk, but the first step to action is talking about action. And I'm happy that this language and this behavior is now being done because it normalizes the idea of not allowing these power structures to have any level of accountability. Like, we're not accountable to them. We're not we don't have to do what they say. We can do whatever we want. Straight up warning. Yeah, exactly. This is unheard of during Biden administration. Yeah, that's the way I see it. Totally regret the pay money. What is this here? Is this another angry boy? Is that right? What are you upset? Anyway, no. Just go get the leader of it. Just go kidnap him. Kidnap him, bring him back to New York, and put him in jail. And now you're on trial. Uno fucking reverse their ass. That's it. Maduro his ass. Yeah, exactly. Put him on trial. That's what I like to see. Yeah, kidnap him again. Exactly. And right there next to Maduro, you think you run shit? Get the fuck out of here. And all
right, guys. Yeah, let's go in. Let's jump in on it. Let's try some. Right now, we stayed on long enough. Let's try some Nick Fuentes. He's live. He's probably going to talk about some sort of thing that's going on with this.
Talk about, hey, if you're not feeling bad enough about the war, there's another big story today that ICE is no longer going to carry out traffic stops anymore. ICE has apparently killed 2 more people in their traffic stops. They try to apprehend illegal immigrants. They stop them in their vehicles. The illegals flee. They open fire. They kill the guy. This happened in Houston, Texas. It happened in Maine. And so now, at the behest of Susan Collins, the worst Republican in the Senate, now ICE says they're not going to do traffic stops anymore. Got all that? So ICE has body cameras. They're not doing raids in people's houses. They're not doing patrols in the streets. They're not surging personnel to the major cities. Now, they're not even going to do traffic stops. So where are they actually going to pick up the illegals then?
Yeah, but again, though, like he's advocating for it without understanding. Remember, we already heard Tom Homan say that this is a rhetoric that's fake news. The rhetoric that they're not arresting people. They've arrested more people in ICE in the month of June of 2026 than they have in any other month. So Nick is just grifting here on something that he probably has the education to actually understand.
26, we're thoroughly into the second term,
Isn't
nearing the halfway
Nazi?
point.
I think so, right?
Allocated $150 billion overall for DHS and border security. And they bought the warehouses. They hired the personnel. They trained up the existing personnel. They have an executive order regime. They've done all these things. And now it's just simply a lack of willingness. Before, they made these arguments, well, we don't have the money. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have warehouses and detention space. We don't have the personnel. The personnel we have don't have the training. All these excuses. Now you have all of that and more.
Getting from the
all the money you could ask for. So many warehouses, they're selling half of them. 10,000 additional personnel. They're trained up. Legal regimes in place. It just passed in the Supreme Court. We're able to keep illegals on the other side of the border.
No, he's not a Nazi.
It's better than ever in terms of resources. They just won't now. They just won't do it. And case in point, now they won't even pull them over at a traffic stop because too many of them are running away and getting shot and killed. So if we have time, we'll get into that. I'm not sure that we will, so don't be mad if I don't. If we have time, we'll touch it. If not, we'll bring it up tomorrow.
Still a little shithead, facts.
So that's going to be the show. Exciting stuff. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the
Is he going to talk about the interview?
Button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think
there's
about
an interview
show.
dropping with him and Andrew Callaghan
our merch
and
store. The summer collection
Hunter
is finally
Biden.
here.
If you guys didn't see, we dropped a YouTube short yesterday about this, but Asmongold broke it live on his live stream yesterday afternoon, and Disclose also reported on it. But Nick Fuentes did a sit-down interview in a hotel room with Hunter Biden and Channel 5's Andrew Callaghan, which will probably drop on Channel 5 and Andrew Callaghan's YouTube page or Patreon sometime this week. But the biggest interview probably of the year, I would say, Hunter Biden, Nick Fuentes debate, is coming at some point. And most likely we will probably cover it on the show when it does eventually drop this week.
Twin
See if he says anything about it, though.
This is
his first show live
cap,
since
more like a baseball
since
cap.
the announcement.
This is like a trucker hat. It's a little bigger,
I'm still just
5-panel.
trying to sell you some shit.
This is more of a conventional
Hunter
6-panel
isn't in the
baseball
Epstein
cap.
files?
Lightning
That is
bolts
true.
on either
Hunter's in
side.
his own
Says
crack
AF, NJF on the back. And it's got a metallic buckle. This is high quality stuff. Metallic buckle. And we also have some of the other shirts. Yesterday I showed you about half of them. We have some other
he has a
shirts here.
Sneeko shirt now?
Of course, we have our Deport Sneeko t-shirt if you go to deportsneeko.com. Let them know. Tell them. Let them know. Go to City Hall. Go to your local representatives. Go to Congress. Tell them deport Sneeko today. Deport monkey. Deport Sneeko. Remove kebab. We don't want him. You can have him. He was in Saudi Arabia. I'm like, bro, stay. We don't want you here. You love Saudi Arabia so much. Go home. Stay there.
Channel 5 Andrew Callaghan trying to
Sneeko goes to Saudi Arabia.
No respect for Channel 5.
And he goes, well,
if you're trying to besmirch Nick Shirley's a fucking retard that just got an opportunity because it was Christmas weekend.
If you want me to leave the country so
Nick
bad,
Shirley has been grifting since the beginning. Though Nick Shirley's
if
been doing
Aiden
better,
Ross
but again,
refunds all the
ain't
gambling
no gotcha on
addicts
Nick
in
Shirley.
America.
He's just a fucking retard.
He goes, I'll leave the country, but Elon Musk has to debate me. What's with the conditions? I'm sorry, what's with the qualifications? If Islam is so superior, if they just do it right in Saudi Arabia and Indonesia, all these other countries, why do we need to make it, why is it let's make a deal? Why is it deal or no deal? Okay, I'll go back to these Muslim countries if you refund every gambling addict in America.
What?
I thought Islam was better. Shouldn't you want to live there? Don't you see? in order for these
Facts.
fucking brown clowns to ever
Ayo.
even consider leaving the rich and glorious United States of America, they want to make a deal. Okay,
Why would
I'll leave
California
America,
do the
but
Stop Nick
first,
Shirley Act?
ain't
Two
no
things can be
but
right at
first.
the same time. Nick Shirley can be a complete fucking idiot, and also you can have Democrats that are scared of the fraud that they have been committing and wanting to silence him. I mean, Democrats are notorious for trying to silence everybody, and they do. They silence everybody. But at the same time, that does not necessarily mean that Nick Shirley is not a complete fucking retard. He is still a fucking retard. He can't even read, guys. The man reads worse than I do.
Your sorry black ass out of this country by your fucking dress, by your nightgown, screaming and crying all the way about the kids in Gaza and Morocco and whatever. Because you know we're better. We're stronger. We're smarter. We're better. We are better. Just go home then. Go home.
It is crazy though that like the grifting in politics, like they're clearly playing theater here. He's selling his t-shirts, Nico's selling his stuff, and they're all just grifting something that's real though, which is there's actual people on the ground on both sides of this that truly believe these things. So while he stands there and goes, "Deport Sneeko," and Sneeko says, "I'll leave if you refund the gambling addicts," they both are literally getting their like support and like the drumming up their fucking bullshit support and shit. All right, guys. We keep dropping off, dropping on, dropping off, dropping on. That's the end of the fucking show. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. End the poll of the day. End the poll of the day. And with that said, Mr. J.D. Vance takes another one. The 48th win for Mr. J.D. Vance on our show. I will be live again at 5 p.m. Central Time tomorrow with more No News is News. But also, guys, in about probably 20, 30 minutes, I will be playing my 4th round of Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. And we will be starting the revolution in America. So, if you like video games, if you like Revolution, check that out. It's going to be happening in about an hour on a regular live stream on this exact same channel. And if not, if you like the news, if you want to watch more news, check us out every day, 5 p.m. Central Time, as always. Let me read off one last time for y'all while we're signing off, in case you guys have any other chats you want to finish up with each other. The amount of third-party candidates and what they actually ended up with. What is Mr. DeSantis ended up with 9% there. So Ron DeSantis 9. Okay, so this is our final tally, guys. Mark Zuckerberg, Vivek Ramaswamy 6%, Olivia Rodrigo, Melania Trump 7%, Dave Portnoy 8%, Ron DeSantis, Thomas Massey, Alex Jones, John Fetterman, Theo Vaughn, Donald Trump Jr., 9%. Josh Shapiro, RFK, 10%. Tulsi Gabbard, Ben Shapiro, 11%. Bobby Lee, Stephen Miller, Elon Musk, Asmongold, The Rock, Pete Buttigieg, 12%. AOC, 14%. Shane Gillis, Joe Rogan, 15%. Mark Cuban, 16%. Michelle Obama, 17%. Taylor Swift, 19%. Afroman, 20%. Tucker Carlson, 21%. Mr. Beast, 22%. Jon Stewart, Kamala Harris, and Matthew McConaughey, all 22% as well. And our top third-party candidate with 25%, Snoop Dogg. Marco Rubio has 2 wins. Gavin Newsom has 18 wins. And J.D. Vance has 48 wins now for President of the United States. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you all for playing and doing whatever you're doing. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Have a good night. Peace!